Sadness.
Oh, people are liking the tweet. Stop liking the tweet.
Well, luckily no one liked my tweets, so.
You're all live.
Get on our level, Pep. No, I'm just kidding.
You're all live right now? Yes. That's fantastic.
Just wait, we're tweeting.
We're trying to get more of you guys on board, so join us.
Literally on board.
That's another Wait, do we have 2 people watching already?
Yes. All right, so there's...
Well, that's probably one is Ruben. Who's the other?
Hello, my 2 favorite people.
Ah, let me get the link
now
there.
if you go to the home page, we're now
see
popping up.
All
All
right.
right. Sorry, everybody.
Let's put everybody.
What should have been the
tweets and everything.
easiest part of getting us up and running ended up being the hardest part of getting us up and running. We're going to take a quick second, tweet out the new address so that everybody can get on board. If you're watching now, can you please feel free to start that? You can put us all on, well, we're all on the screen right there, Victor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do.
Nice.
Because everybody's like just on their device.
I know, right?
One thing, and then we'll be right back.
I'm just being lazy and retweeting somebody else. Oh.
Can you see how I look now? If you do that.
Tweeted.
That's squared away. Everything looking all right?
I better stop watching the feed on my phone.
That's overly narcissistic.
Not in that regards. I was like, my phone's gonna just grind to a halt, like trying to deal with this.
Wow.
This signal here.
It is a fiasco, and we are starting.
It's definitely. So next time we play Fiasco,
yes.
Should we do the scene? Is trying to do a live play of a game.
A YouTuber fiasco.
Right.
I think
that is for real the real fiasco.
That is the real
totally
fiasco.
make that play set. Absolutely. All right. So, first of all, thanks for joining.
What you need, Ruben?
Doesn't switch. All right. I am going to basically let, first of all, thanks for watching. We're going to just kind of work out the one little issue I'm having right now with the video feed. But I'm going to let Victor kind of just explain the basics of what's going on in Fiasco in general. And he is going to do that. Victor the Geek, as it were. You know him on BGG and everywhere else. So thank you for joining me in studio.
Yes.
You're the first in studio guest.
Proud to be here.
I will be right back.
Okay. So for anybody that's watching this later, we are going to be playing through Fiasco. And this is it's an RPG, but it's kind of like RPG meets improv. So while we do have characters that we've already created beforehand, and we're going to be playing through different scenes, but other than the basic idea of our characters are created ahead of time, everything that you're about to watch, like none of it is scripted, none of it is thought out ahead of time. We, as of right this second that I'm saying this, we have no idea what's going to happen. We have we have our kind of our boilerplate of what our story is going to be here, but that's all we know. And what we're going to be doing is one of the play sets for Fiasco, and it's called the Transatlantic. So it's going to be per se based off the Titanic, which sunk 106 years ago, as of this day. But ours is going to, I think we've kind of thought of the idea that this is in our realm of our story here. The Titanic has sunk, but we are going to be so many years into the future, after World War I, and we're going to be on the ship called Leviathan. And we know that, like I said, the Titanic has sunk, but maybe we're too, our ship captain is maybe too cocky and thinks that this ship is unsinkable. We don't know. We don't know if our ship is even going to sink. We have no idea. But we're going to have fun trying to play this out. So what's going to happen is we're going to play through a series of rounds of different scenes. And each one of us is going to be the main person of a scene, and then have maybe another character or two in that scene, and we're going to be impromptu role-playing out some of that scene. There's always going to be at least one of us not in the scene. And that player is going to be determining if it goes good or bad for the main person of the scene. Now, for us here in studio, we have these big, chunky red and black dice. Black meaning bad, red meaning good. And for everybody on the other end here, they're going to have either dice, or they're going to just have maybe a piece of paper, or something that at some point they may hold up to say whether it's going to go good or bad. So black, always going to be bad, and then red or white, depending on who it is going to go good. So we're going to play out a scene. It might go good, it might go bad. We'll laugh about how ridiculous it went, and then we'll go to the next player, and they'll do out their scene. About halfway through, we're going to have what is the tilt. And this is when just shit hits the fan. And something bad is going to end up happening, and it's going to just make it go off rails, and we're going to have to weave that into our story. Now, by the end of the game, players are going to get these dice allocated to them, or they might end up claiming them for themselves. And at the end of the game, we're going to roll some of these dice, check a chart that's in the book, and then we're going to do kind of a monologue to say what happened to our character at the end of this story. And it may have gone terribly wrong, or it might be insanely awesome for that character. Chris, are we going to hold off for right now for talking about who our characters are? Or do we want to do that?
Why don't you go around? Just don't start with me.
Okay. So, all right, we're going to go around the table. I'll start us off. We're going to have our character name, and we also have some sort of a relationship with the person that's next to us. So, for myself, I'm, per se, sitting next to Chris, and I'm going to be sitting next to Pep. So, myself, I'm Jack Russell, and for Pep and myself, his character, we are going to be warring siblings. And we have some sort of revenge between the two of us. We don't know what just yet, but there will be bloodshed. I guarantee it. Not mine. For Chris and myself, we are dedicated bon vivants. And yes, we did have to Google that terminology to find out what it meant. So we love the life of luxury on this ship, but we are going to be trying to survive. What we're surviving? We're not 100% sure yet, but there will be mayhem that just so happens to involve the hull of the boat and an iceberg. What could come of that bad? We don't know. So, Pep, who are you?
I am Roland Russell, of course, your brother. And as we described, our relationship is warring siblings. But with Roy, we are friends from the Great War. And it appears he and I are seeking some sort of revenge.
Okay.
Very revengey.
Yes, revenge.
That might be a common theme.
Are you all seeing the comments in the YouTube chat regarding Victor's volume? They can barely hear Victor at all. It sounds like the mic he is wearing is not coming through on the YouTube based on the comments. But I can't tell because I'm hearing you guys through a different channel. So
awesome. Well, thank you.
Are you catching all that, technician?
Hold on. Our audio technician. Other one, Ruben. That one. Yep. You're fine. Everybody, this is Groovin' Ruben's back of his head.
Nice.
So professional.
Exactly.
Was that turned
All right.
on?
Thanks for watching. If you see any more comments or anything like that, just let us know, please, Crystal. Because obviously, I don't want to have anything in front of me.
Yeah, there were a couple people that said the sound in the studio was a bit low. And then now one person has said that they can hear Victor clearly. So
Goodness.
Good.
I don't know if that's a change or if that's just whatever.
Can you hear me? Can you
hear me now?
All right. So
Nice.
we just got finished with Pep. Who's next? I'm
Roy.
sorry, not Pep. Roland,
Yes.
Roland. Yes, so I'm Roy, and I'm going to be playing Thomas Sampson. And like Roland said, we are friends from the war with the rivalry. And do we go into like what the not rivalry?
Not everything, just basics.
Basic idea. Who
Revenge.
are you?
Yep.
Cool. And then I also there is intrigue in between me and Grace, which is Crystal's character. And yeah.
All right. Awesome. Who's next?
So I am playing Grace Mayfield. And as Roy said, there's a little bit of intrigue between us that we won't get into specifically because I think it'll be fun to explore later. And then I am also next to Chris, who is playing Dirk Handy. And we have a very interesting relationship. I am an heiress, and he is a cat burglar. And there may be something of mine that he wants to get his mitts on, as it were, but we'll find out, I suppose.
Family show, kind of, sort of.
Not like an item, not me, for the record. Like
All right.
something of worth that is not a person.
Wow. Ouch. All right, so I guess I'm next.
Yep, you're
All right. So I'm Chris. I am the host, for better or worse. I am Dirk Handy. I am a cat burglar, and Crystal and I came on board the HMS Leviathan together here. And there's an object between us. Something may happen with Victor and I, and we are both bon vivants and enjoying the dapper lifestyle.
Very dapper.
Very dapper. So that's everybody. So I think we need to set the scene. So for those of you who might be familiar with Fiasco, basically this is a Coen Brothers movie made into a game. It really is. It's supposed to be fun, and we're going to do cutscenes like director and actor, and we're going to go back and forth and do that. Victor's going to explain a little bit more of the mechanical side of things because he's much more versed at this than me. I just love playing along. And everybody's going to get a chance to rate everybody, whether it's good or it's bad for their character, or they might rate in the middle of a scene, and then we have to define which way it goes,
Right.
correct?
Right.
So that's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll let you go with that, and then once you're done that, I will set the stage, and we're off.
Yeah, so for this first act, what we're going to be doing is we're going to say whoever's the main person is in the scene. Let's just say, for the sake of my example, it's Chris, and he's going to say, okay, for this scene, I want myself, I want Grace Mayfield, and I want Thomas Sampson in the scene. And then that's going to leave myself and Pep out of the scene, and we're going to quickly just say between the two of us, like, okay, who's going to determine if it goes good or bad. So let's just say, Pep, you determine. So now at some point during that scene, Pep is going to hold up either a black or white die and say, is this scene going to go good or bad for Dirk Handy? Now, that could mean something as simple as, like, let's say in the scene, Dirk was wanting to get, he was at the bar and wanted to get the attention of the bartender to get a drink. It could be simple as that, and it goes bad, so he never gets his drink. It literally could be that simple. Or it could be he ends up, getting in a bar fight or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we could be a little more extravagant than that.
Right. But it's that whoever's in the scene is going to be kind of directing the story to go at some point. Now, a very good thing that we need to be paying attention to, and I like to say, whoever is the person determining if it goes good or bad, at some point needs to say cut and end the scene. Usually it's like that little cliffhanger moment. So you're like,
it's never a good moment. You're like,
right. It's like, I'm gonna punch you, and it's like cut, and you want some tension left there. when the scene cuts away. And then
Right.
at that point, what's going to happen is, let's say so it was going to go bad. This would go to Chris, and then he is going to then, at this point in the first round, give this to somebody and say, that was in the scene, not yourself. And you're going to give it to somebody else and say, like, okay, you did really good in that scene. This is yours, which will be important at the end of the game. All right?
All right. So,
Just the YouTube chat is continuing to say that myself, Roy, and Pep are all loud and clear, and everything in studio is incredibly low. And multiple people are confirming that.
We'll crank it up another little bit. And just keep an eye on that. If you need to chime in, Crystal, just let us know.
They've been commenting the whole time. Multiple.
Is our technician viewing the chat?
Yes.
Yeah. I think you need to move the mic closer to you guys.
Is that possible to move the mic closer?
Yeah, let's try doing that. Just before we get rolling.
Yeah, last thing we need is to start, getting into the scenes, and then it's terrible. Mind the knocking sound as you're moving the mic.
Yeah. We'll crank the gain a little bit. All right.
How's the sound since he's moved the mic closer? Is the sound any better? Someone let us know. Someone's watching the feed. Send in the chat. Is our sound a little bit better since he moved it closer? Is that good? Is that good?
I will say on our end, it is definitely louder and not.
Talk louder.
Yeah.
Louder.
Over enunciate everything.
Over enunciation.
So we should talk like
Because they have.
Chat says it's better.
I can take them down a little bit to make it.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
So
that works.
talk
Chat, 3 people have confirmed that it does sound better now.
Right.
All right.
We will talk like we are talking to someone that's like not from America, and if we talk louder, they will understand us better.
Well, that would be Pep. I mean, do you understand?
Canada's still part of America.
What are y'all talking about?
In America, we say about.
And we're going to be on a boat. Not
About.
a boot.
We do not wear toques.
All right. So let us set the scene. So we were bouncing around in chat a little bit about what scenario we were going to play, because anybody who's familiar with Fiasco knows that there are a bajillion options available for different scenarios. Yeah. And what really sold me on the deal was when I realized what the date was. And today, well, technically started yesterday and went into today, was actually the sinking of the Titanic. So quick little pause for a surreal moment. I apologize. But at the same time, that really kind of spoke to me and made me think we need to do what's the transatlantic is going to be our scenario today. And this is set a little later, so hopefully we learned from the mistakes of the four-masted maiden, and have, in 1932 we have overcome those obstacles, and we're on this transatlantic journey, and let us see what happens. So let us set the scene, if you will.
All right. So who do you want to be in this scene? Of course, you have to be yourself.
Let me just put us out there. All right. So let's just physically. We're not setting a scene. We're setting the scene.
Okay.
All right. So to be read aloud by the most aristocratic person at the table. I don't know if I'm aristocratic, but I guess I fit the bill. I do have a bow tie. Anyway, you are a week out of Southampton en route to New York. Your 42,000-ton vessel, Morningstar Line's new flagship, Leviathan, plows through these frigid waters at 29 knots. On this luxury cruiser's maiden voyage, the captain has directed to quietly contend for the glorious Blue Riband, the accoladed award that was fastest crossing the Atlantic Ocean. Topside, you enjoy a salty Gibson, while pulling a heavy double wool coat over your body. Friends make merry with lively talk amongst themselves. It's a din barely overheard above the hammering engine and thresh of the ship's mighty propellers. Spray from the bow's cleave manages to catch your cheek, even this far aft. You smile, playing the cocktail's onion lightly on your tongue. Your gaze draws across the dull slate waters, wondering at the marvel of it all. New beginnings? Maybe this time will be different. Perhaps your dreams are within reach. What could possibly go wrong? So, with that, let us begin Fiasco. And Victor, you are in the first chair. I will let you set the first seat.
Oh, geez, the pressure's on already.
There is pressure.
And I tell you, I've played this game now 10 times, but I never like the starting part of it. Because I'm what do we do? Where do we go? I don't know the story yet. So I think a good way maybe to start this is we're getting on the boat.
All right.
So we're just
Nice.
we just got onto the boat. Let's have myself and Roland in the scene.
All right.
Brothers. Yeah.
And why not? Let's just have the two of us.
All right.
Just the
that's fine.
two of us. So brothers, warring siblings, and at this point, and anytime we're setting a scene, this is like about really a good amount that we want. We don't want to say too much as we set these scenes. We
They
just
need
want
to
to say,
evolve.
right, who's involved, the basic idea, we're just onto the boat, and then, let it go.
Absolutely.
Okay? And then we'll go from there.
And the director will be? You can assign since you're choosing the scene.
Let's have Roy is going to
I'm sorry,
decide.
you mean Thomas
Sampson is
Thomas Sampson.
Well, now since he's not going to be in the scene,
Oh, okay.
let's since he's not in the scene, we're going to say it's Roy then.
Unless he
okay?
interjects himself.
Now that is the case. That's actually a fun instance in this. Now, we're going to have Roy is not in the scene. He can't be in the scene at all. But we have had really interesting times where another person just decides to pop in the scene. So, like, for instance, Dirk or Grace could just pop in the scene. But let's have Roy specifically is going to be not in the scene.
Okay.
And at some point he has to say if it's going to go good or bad for myself. Okay?
Sounds good.
All right.
And he can wait to the end to decide. All right. In character. And action.
Roland, why the hell did you pull me onto this boat? I haven't seen you in 2 years, and now you just want to go on this vacation with me? What's the deal? What's the deal, Roland?
Well,
What do you
listen,
want?
you know
What do
I
you want
can't
from me?
afford this kind of thing myself. So I thought maybe we could have a nice little family time. Of course, your foot in the bill.
Oh,
And,
well, I mean, I've always footed the bill. Your whole life, you're always coming to me asking me for money. I told you, we're done.
You know, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Even though you didn't take care of our sick father, I appreciate that you take care of me. Okay.
Bringing that up. All the time you're bringing it up.
Well,
Look, I didn't know the pneumonia was going to kill him.
that's usually what it does. Okay. So, speaking of pneumonia, make sure to button up cold. I wouldn't want you to come down with a little case of it yourself on the ship.
Oh, right, because you don't want the guy paying the bill, to not have the funds to pay your bar tab, of course.
Look, listen, my bar tab gets pretty high, so I appreciate it.
What is that? Are you drinking $3 scotch already?
Now, listen,
Oh, my God. Jeez. Remember, it's 1930s.
That's like a week's salary, right?
That's an expensive scotch.
Oh, $3. That's a racket.
So what do you want? What do you want, Roland? I mean, I feel like you want to just go on vacation, but at the same time, I always feel like you come up with some scheme that you're always thinking about. So what is it? Just get it out now. We can enjoy the rest of the time. Maybe let's just get it out on the table now.
listen, there's no scheme. I thought, for once we need to just have some good times together, and I think we need to put all this behind us.
I want to believe you. Roland. But, I mean, you burned me so many times in the past. I mean, I'm gonna need some proof here. I mean, there's always some scheme you got playing here. You know, we'll get it out. Maybe I'll get a couple more drinks in you, and I'll find out what the scheme is here. I know there's something.
Listen, why don't you have a drink yourself? Here, it's on me. Well, it's on you, but
Yeah. Well, of course it's on me. I'm always paying the bill here. All right, so you know, well, what's new? What do you got going on? You got no scheme, you got no plan, but what's going on then?
no, I just I heard this ship's voyage was going to be something special. You know, I heard it through the grapevine, so I thought if I'm going to have a special night together, I want it to be with my favorite brother. Okay.
Okay, something's going on. Favorite brother. I mean, just because I'm your only brother doesn't mean it has to be. Doesn't have to be your favorite.
You're gonna have to cut yourself.
Well, listen, you know, that's how things work. We have rough times, but we got to stick together, okay?
All
You know,
right.
Pop's gone. Mom's probably not too long till she's gonna bite the bucket as well. So,
Jeez, it's always bad news with you. I tell you.
listen, I spent some time in the war, so I know something about bad news, and I feel some bad news coming on the horizon. So let's drink up and hopefully have a good trip.
All right. We'll just get settled in.
All right. I'm gonna call cut because I don't think Roy understands the part of the director.
He did actually cut a lot earlier.
Cut like way earlier.
Did you?
Yeah,
I
he
didn't
said-
hear you.
He said cut or way earlier, and he also held up his black die, and he
I'm
did all the
sorry.
things. He did all of the things he was supposed to do, and no one was paying any attention.
Did we get that?
You know what?
Did we
don't
get that
pay
feed
attention.
over here?
We don't pay attention to steerage.
Did we get that feed sent over to us?
All right.
Huh, technician?
All right. So, well, let's rewind. That's fine.
Come on, technician.
Split it up about the same because
gotta
I was
s-
trying to
I-
cut it where he was saying that he was having to pay for everything and stuff
All
like
right.
that. And
Okay.
All right.
Pep was like,
so-
"I'll drink this on you" or whatever. Okay.
We got a little extra, and it's
We
fine.
need to. If you see
It's
him,
basically the same
we need to see it on the feed to see if we can pull it up there.
Yep.
Now he's doing it.
All right. So,
Cool.
ground rules: be loud, cut loud. And you gave black die. Who did you give black die to
Well,
at
so-
the end of it?
It's always going to be on whoever's scene it was.
So it goes to you.
Right. So it's going to go to me.
All right. So mark that you get a black die.
All right.
All right.
Mark that down.
Well, you could actually just take a black die. We could have like little piles for everybody.
Right.
That could be cute.
That was probably loud.
That was very loud.
That was probably loud, dragging across the table here.
All right.
So I guess we'll just go clockwise around for now. So that
Around
means,
the virtual table.
Right. So that means Roland is up to set the scene. This
Well,
can be
Pep is up to set Roland's scene, or
Wow.
it can either include him or not.
No. Now that he's in it, he is the main person. He must absolutely be in the
Okay.
scene. So that's why Roland will be in the scene.
Good.
But you could say whoever other characters you need. It can be in the past. It could be in the future. It could be literally right after our scene.
Okay.
Whatever you want, but he must be in the scene on this.
All right.
You know, I feel like we're not going to get to interact much, so I think just getting first on the ship here, I want to interact with Crystal. So Grace, maybe I run into you in the bar.
So does that work since we're not sitting next to each other? Or do we do scenes between the people that aren't
Doesn't
sitting
matter now.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Because there can still be some sort of connection between the two of you at some point, somehow. And we don't know that right now because
Yeah.
the way that the character creation part goes, we don't have like a cross table relationship at all. So this could be setting that up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, is it just gonna be the two of you?
I need a bartender as well, I think,
So you need
to
an
serve
NPC?
us drinks.
Sure.
Yeah, so I think I'll go with Chris on this one.
Okay.
All right. So you want me to play bartender, not Dirk?
Yep.
Got it.
And then who's gonna be director of the scene between myself or Roy?
I'll make you the director. Roy just had a turn at director,
Okay.
so.
Fair enough. All right. Scene is set. Count us in.
All right. Whenever you're already rolling.
Bartender, I'll have a glass of your finest scotch.
Finest scotch? I heard you like the $3 kind. Is this true?
I do. Well, personally, I'll drink anything, but as long as my brother's footing the bill, then I'll take whatever you got.
All right. So, absolutely. Let me reach all the way up here on the top shelf and get that for you, sir.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
No problem.
$3, really?
Wow. You know, you gotta live a little, and I've had a hard life. I like to relax now and then.
Oh, I'm sorry. You think I was implying you were spending too much. No, I only drink $4 scotch.
Oh, my. Well, then, I'll get a scotch for her as well. Again, put it on my brother's tab.
Absolutely, sir. Coming right up. I will climb the ladder again.
Oh, this is a tall ship.
The service around here has been unbearably slow, though.
Well, it's a lot
I'm
easier
used
order
to
from the well.
I'm used to slow service, but so what's a fancy lady like you doing on a ship like this?
I must admit, I have a little bit of a love affair with boats. It's just being out on the open sea. It refreshes me in a way that no other activity does.
Yeah, I like to stay on the lower decks, where the alcohol is, personally.
I mean, there's alcohol on every deck if you search closely enough.
Truer words have never been said.
So what brings you here?
Oh, many things. I'm here with my brother. You know, we've never gotten along. Siblings, of course.
Traveling with family. Ugh.
And you? Are you traveling with family yourself, or perhaps a
No,
husband?
there's this gentleman that's been following me around like a puppy, and I'm fairly certain he's come onto the boat as well, but I'm doing my best to avoid him right now.
Well, if you need any protection, let me know.
Oh, I might take you up on that.
I was a soldier in my younger days.
A soldier?
Yes, during the Great War.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, as with most things in life, there's quite a few tragic memories, but a lot of fond ones. A lot of good friends made and enemies as well.
Oh, that's unsurprising, but still a bit sad. We all lost good people during the war.
We did. You seem pretty young yourself. I don't suppose you lost anyone in the war?
Actually, my father, he perished during the war. My mother has not been able to deal with with the loss of her husband, and I, being an only child, have had no one else to lean on during that time. I'm older now, things are better, but I was still rather young when he died, so it has been a little bit difficult to deal with, and something about being out on the ocean, the freeness, the open wind and the skies and the sea that stretches beyond for days and days, it just helps me forget about all of the sad things.
Oh, listen. You mentioned being an only child. Don't worry about it. I can guarantee you I would much rather be an only child at this point. I'm sure I would have gotten all of Father's money rather than my brother, who abandoned Father in his time of need. But,
I mean, in theory, if, you wanted your brother to go missing, I do know some people.
Cut.
Really?
Cut. That was perfect.
That was good.
That was perfect.
Admittedly, I wasn't watching anyone at all, so if someone held up like a black or a white die, totally wasn't paying attention, and I will pay attention to that in the future.
Yeah, it was difficult. I also missed, and I know that it would probably happened, but it's weird. I was trying to intently look into my camera as if I were looking at Pep, and so yeah, it's difficult to pay attention to.
The director, I think, just needs to verbalize red die.
Well, or let's do
white or black.
Let's do white.
White or black?
We physically got the red ones, but let's just say like
white or
you'll
black.
hear the person.
Yep.
So was it white or black? Just for our reference?
It was white.
It was.
Oh.
And I think
that
happened.
really went well for him.
It did go for him. I think that was fantastic. That was great.
I'm definitely going to give the die to Crystal because I think you turned the scene really well there. So.
Oh, that's right. I already screwed that up. So
You award it, and they may give it to somebody else if they
right.
desire.
They do.
Yeah.
So since that last scene was mine, I shouldn't have the die.
Okay.
Okay. So really, the very first die should have went to Pep.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So Pep.
Oh,
has
you
a
can't
black
give it
die.
to yourself.
Yeah. In the very first act, yeah, you don't keep it yourself.
Okay.
So Pep has a black die then, and then you said Crystal's getting the white.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Mr. Thomas is up next.
Thomas Sampson, also known as Roy,
Nice.
because you're not a character yet. It's coming.
Yeah. I think I'd like to set up a scene of Thomas, like, go back to, like, getting on the boat. And
Okay.
Thomas trying to find a way on the boat. And maybe not being able to afford it. And get maybe Chris's character, try to talk him into smuggling him on the boat with him or something like that.
Okay.
All right.
So who do you completely need in the scene? Yourself, and then Mr. Dirk Handy, of course.
Dirk Handy. Yeah, that'd be great.
Do you, just the two? Do you need anybody else?
Well, an NPC might pop up, so
Yeah.
if you're not in scene, be ready.
Cool. Yeah. If we could have like a NPC of like the boatman taking in the tickets, and Victor, if
Okay.
you want to play like the boatman who's having to take all that sort of stuff.
Okay. And then who do you want as the director?
We'll have Pep be the director.
Nice.
All right.
Awesome.
All right. Oof.
Whenever you're
Hey,
ready,
man.
Thomas.
Hey man, I really need to get onto this boat. There's like something I really need to have. Like, is there any way you can like help me get on? I mean, you look like a really nice gentleman.
I don't know what I can do for you. I mean, what?
I'll carry your luggage. Like, if there's anything I can do to help you out, sir, I will make sure that everything is done properly for you.
I mean, I don't have any pursers joining me this trip, but I suppose I could maybe see if there's room for a servant.
Yeah, my name is Thomas Sampson. I will help you out in any way possible. I have a friend on this boat, and there's just important things I need to do. I need to make sure that I can get there, and any way I can travel with you and help you out along your way would be amazing.
Black
I mean-
die.
I think you're going to have to offer something up in order to kind of make this worth my while. I can't just pay for you and then just not, receive anything in return, sir.
I see how it is. Maybe I'll have to find another way onto this boat, but I will indeed be able to make it upon this trip. I hope I see you in the decks, and I'll definitely remember you.
Well, now, I mean, let's not be too hasty. I think if you were just to owe me a favor when we get to the New World, that I could maybe, you could maybe stay with me and help me out around the shop for a few months. I think maybe we could work something out.
Last call. All aboard. Bring your tickets forward. Last call.
That would definitely be favorable.
Okay, so, all right. Well, fall in line, and what's your name again?
Thomas Sampson.
Thomas. Okay.
At your service.
Sir,
Cut.
Come on up, sir.
I'm
Next
sorry.
up, step up, sir.
Here is my ticket for myself. This is my manservant, Thomas. He'll be joining me. Unfortunately,
scene was
I
cut.
did
Cut.
not.
Yeah, cut.
All right. Good.
Sorry, should have been louder.
That's
you
all
were
right.
good.
All right.
All
So
right.
that was a black die was announced.
Yes.
So
That
that's
went bad for him.
Right. That's interesting. So looks like he's gonna get on the boat, but maybe that's not gonna go well for him for some reason. Then
It might not
Probably
be the
not.
best thing to happen in his.
Right. So
Yeah.
that's gonna be interesting.
So do I have to give the black die to Chris because he was in the scene, or?
Anybody, right?
Yeah, you usually give it to somebody in the scene, but also we kind of want, by the end of 2 cycles around, we kind of want everybody to have some dice
Something
in front of them. So
if somebody impacted your scene, maybe on screen or off,
Right.
feel free to give it to them as well.
Oh, so you can give it to anyone at the table?
yeah. Right. You can,
Yeah.
like I said, it's whoever's in the scene, but we can balance it out. It's up to
It's
you.
up to you. Doesn't have any huge connotation
Well, it's-
until the tilt.
Yeah, once we start getting some dice in front of us, then it's gonna matter.
Yeah.
But kind of, I'd probably suggest, I would just suggest give it to Chris just because he was in the scene. That would be my suggestion.
Yeah. So Chris, you get the black die.
All right.
Probably letting me on the ship was probably a bad idea for you. So.
Right.
I don't think it's going to be good for either of us. Let's be honest. All right. Next scene.
All right, we're moving on to Grace Mayfield. Setting the scene.
So Grace has been in, so she has to be in this scene.
Mm-hmm.
And
And it could be whatever time you want. It could be the voyage is already going. It could be a flashback. It could just still be in this moment of getting onto the boat. Whatever you want. Whatever you personally want to see Grace happen.
Okay, I think I would like it to be a little bit in the future. The voyage we've already departed from the dock, and I am in my quarters, and I believe Thomas is going to be in the scene with me. And we will, I'll be less specific about how that's going to occur until it happens, but I believe Thomas knows how he'll enter the scene. So, based on our pre-show notes.
So just the two of you then?
I'll say maybe Dirk comes by during the scene because he and Thomas already kind of have formed a relationship of sorts, and maybe he's looking for Thomas.
Okay, I like it.
At some point.
Okay. So who's going to direct? Pep or Victor?
Let's have Pep direct.
Okay.
All right.
Just because I like how excited he gets when he gets to do that.
I'm the director.
Cut.
All right.
Do it again with emphasis.
When ready, Grace.
I swear I packed my brown dress. It is not anywhere. I can't find it. I just, maybe I already put it in the closet. I suppose I could go look.
Excuse me. Sorry.
What are you doing in my quarters?
There's this man chasing after me.
And what, you just chose to burst into my room and hide here in the closet? I don't understand. What are you doing?
Listen, he thinks I'm some sort of servant to him, and I'm not sure what his deal is. I think he's slightly deranged. I'm not quite sure what he wants. Like, he's trying to get me to do all these things. I'm sorry, I had to run in here. I saw him coming down the hallway. So I was just trying to...
Grace,
gosh.
why is the door locked? Grace.
Just let me be very quiet.
Hold on
That's
one
him.
moment.
White die.
White guy.
Okay, so before I go answer the door, can you just tell me, have you seen a brown dress in there?
Yeah,
Right.
let's see. And
Can you look?
here it is. This
good.
would look stunning on you, madam.
Oh, thanks. I'm so happy. Okay, hold on. Let me go get the door.
Why do you lock the door? I've been here for 2 minutes.
I told you not to follow me. Why are you here?
I'm not following you. I thought we had an agreement.
We do not have an agreement. I am not going to sell it to you, and you shouldn't be on this boat.
Look, it's not so much about the price. Like I said, I can get the money. It's not a problem.
It's not for sale. I don't know how many times I have to tell you.
Okay, fine. Have you seen a young man, kind of looks a little unkempt, running around, answers to the name of Thomas?
I can't say that I know of anyone named Thomas.
Okay. Well, look. I'm sorry I was a little rough, but, you know, if you'd like to go for a drink later, perhaps, like, once you've cleaned up and found a dress you like.
You know what? You can just leave. I told you not to get on the boat. You got on the boat. You and I are not... We're not friends. We're not business partners, and you're not going to get the diamond. You're just not, and you need to make to terms with that because it's just not happening. And I can't even speak. I'm so upset. Just leave.
Fine. I will be downstairs. If you need anything, the purser knows where I am.
All right, go.
Okay.
Hey, are you still in there?
Dude, that guy's a real creep.
Wait, so you know him too? Are you Thomas? Are you the one he's looking for?
I mean, I may be, but I'm trying to stay as far away from that guy as possible.
I mean, I'll admit, you don't look like the type of person that I would typically hang out with, but you have an air about you that I kind of like. So if you want to come hide from him, you feel free to stop by anytime.
Thank you so much, my lady.
And cut.
Nice. I like it. That was a good scene. That was a great scene. I love it. I love the flow of that one. That's fantastic.
I'm hearkening back to my high school improv days.
That was fantastic. Reuven, Tech, are we getting the bounce of the mic? Are we hearing that at all?
Bounce.
Are we hearing any echo? I can kind of sense a little bit of like if it's coming through the mic at all.
Chat's asking where my suit is. I didn't get an invitation on the ship, so I don't get to have a suit. So I'm the stowaway.
Like, even dangle the mic here?
Yeah.
Okay. As long, I didn't know if, like, knocking on the table is echoing through that partially. Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool.
Very well.
All right, this is...
Good, so we need to award a white die.
Yes. So I have to choose who to give the white die to?
Correct.
Yes. Is there any way to get a quick running count of all the people and what die they have real fast, just so...
Yeah. Go ahead. So,
maybe
Roland Pep combo has a black die, and at the moment, Crystal with Grace has a white die. That's what I have.
I'm going to give the white die to Roy, then.
Okay. So what was that again? We got a black
Crystal with
Pep.
a white and Pep with a black. So 3 scenes, yeah.
We've had 4 scenes now.
So
yeah.
You had the first one.
I gave it to Pep. And then what do we have next?
Roy.
Pep gave it to
Roy gave me the black die.
Black.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a black die.
Black, white.
So Pep and I have a black die.
Okay.
Roy and Crystal each have a white.
Okay.
So pretty balanced so far.
Okay.
All right. So moving on.
All right. So, Mr. Dirk Handy. This is your first scene.
Yes. So Dirk Handy is going to be interacting with Jack Russell.
Okay.
Who is we may have something in common, and I think Pep, you may pop in if you see an opportunity. Feel free to hop in.
As soon as you mentioned it, I was already planning it. So
nice. And Mr. Roy, if you could direct this one, because there's the potential for Crystal to barge in at any point. Then
okay.
And then we'll see where that goes.
Cool.
All right. So the scene is we are sunset on the cruise. We're getting ready for dinner. We're just pulling up to the bar, and my friend Jack is already there, who I kind of remember, but I kind of think we're gonna get along. So I walk up to him with that eye of like, my kind of guy.
Okay.
All right. So, sir, what are you enjoying there?
This happens to be the $5 scotch.
$5.
The $5 scotch.
Oh, that poor bartender. He must have really had to climb.
Oh, he had to have his assistant come over here and boost him up on his shoulders.
Really?
He was way up there. I saw this bottle and I said, whatever that is, I had to have it.
Oh, that looks delicious.
It is.
Delicious. Oh.
Well, it seems, you know what, bartender, pour a $5 scotch for my new friend here.
Yeah. Oh, excellent. We will.
There you go.
Oh, we'll top that off. We'll top that off. Thank you. Thank you.
Jack Russell, and you
Cheers.
may be?
Dirk Handy, sir.
Dirk
Handy.
Dirk, why is that name
Ah.
ring a bell? I feel like I've heard the name before.
I think I've seen you at the Concours d'Elegance, maybe up at Goodwind.
You have seen me there.
Yes,
then
perhaps. Were you perusing some of the automobiles, perhaps, up there?
Yes, and there's only a select few that they let in there.
Yes, of course. I mean, I don't want to be down in steerage with all the other people now.
Riff raff.
Oh, tell me about it. It's like almost as bad as family. Am I right? Am I right?
Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
I'm glad I left my sister behind.
Jack, oh man, this booze is just great. I get into the wine now. It's fantastic.
Wow. It's gonna be a white die.
Roland, do you mind? How did you even get in here?
I wander in and out. I put on a fancy suit. They let me anywhere. It's great.
Can you
Oh no! Let him stay. Let him stay.
Who's your handsome new friend here?
Oh, hello, Mr. Roland, is it, sir?
Yes, this is
Roland,
my brother,
yes.
Oh, my name is Dirk. I'm always looking for men of impeccable character.
Well, what are you doing with my brother then?
Well, we attended events together.
Cheap stuff. Give him the cheap stuff.
So, Roland, what do you do for a living, sir?
Feed off of my allowance is what he does.
Oh.
He's got it right. He's got it right. I'm a retired soldier, so I just, I keep to myself.
Then.
Well, I mean, yes and no. My father did invest in my ideas, but I took that investment and ran with it and made an empire.
I have a woman that I think you should meet.
Oh, really?
I do.
Cut!
I do.
I like it. It's good.
I think that went well.
That went well for you.
It did. It did.
And that was a white
You're
die.
meeting the man with the money.
Yes.
Roland, that
All
jerk.
Right.
Someone in chat said that they can't wait till we get to the $10 scotch. It's just going to get more and more expensive as the trip progresses.
I want to say like a name of a scotch, but I
It's
don't
not
know.
worth it.
No, at
It's
this
not.
point, it's just keep going.
Absolutely. All right. So I believe I need to give out a white die.
Yes.
I think I really think Jack needs a white die.
Okay.
I feel good things for Jack. This meeting of the mysterious woman is gonna go great.
What's great about this is now we kind of have the and initially this mindset is of like, oh, I got a black die, oh, I got a white die, but by the end of it, if you have a lot of black dice, it's actually good.
It is.
So the second act's where we're really going to see this interesting turn of events for us. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we've already went one time around the table. We're going to go a second time around the table for our first act. So we've now get to see our characters a little bit, and now we're kind of building upon that to see a little bit more until
the
we
secondary
get to
scenes and see what happens in the first. All right,
exactly.
I like it.
So let me see here. What shall we do? I like this dynamic of you're trying to pull me to meet with Grace. Is
that what I was doing?
So I think I want to see let's see. Let's go with maybe the next day. Okay. It's the next day, and it's brunch. That's it. It's gonna be next day. It's gonna be brunch.
Brunch is good.
And it's going to be myself, it's going to be Dirk, and it's going to be Grace are in the scene.
Okay.
Okay? And let's give Roy is going to be directing. Okay? Let's go with that.
All right.
Sir, it's Jack Russell. Yes. I requested a table by myself. Is that still on the list?
Oh, Jack, dear boy. No. I insist.
Sir.
You must. No, Jack, you must. You
Okay.
must come dine with us.
Do you already have a table set?
I do, and I have some lovely friends coming over.
Okay,
sure.
So I will be with Dirk then. Okay.
Sure. Don't worry, Mater D. Let's take you to my table.
Oh, right.
So, as we go up to the table, I introduce myself, and I have insinuated myself on Grace's table, and she does not know.
I was attempting to have a nice brunch by myself. Why are you pulling extra chairs up to my table?
I'm sorry. Miss Grace, I do not have time to dine with you today as much as I would love the opportunity, but I would you need to meet my friend.
What is this? Are you just bringing random strangers to my table?
No.
Random stranger? I mean, to you are the random stranger, if anything, to me.
I don't know you from Adam.
I am Jack Russell.
Black die.
Yes.
I am Jack Russell, renowned scholar and empire of all the world's doorknob sales.
Grace, I apologize, but I met Jack the other day, and he struck me as quite
a bit of a knob.
No.
I see what you did there.
A knob of silliness. A knob of silliness
is quite the business, though. I tell you.
Well, I actually prefer pocket doors.
Oh.
Let me tell you, madam. The pocket door is just a running fad, okay? You will not see these. Another 10 years, you will not see another pocket door. Let me tell you.
Oh, really? Would you like to make a bet on it, sir?
I pull out the chair gently for my friend Jack here. And I'm like, Grace,
sir,
I'm sorry.
Sir?
I do have to run. Somebody just called me. I must go and exit.
Are you part of this little scam of his?
Scam? Well, I mean, to be honest, I mean, we just actually met last night, but it seemed to be quite the
so
gentleman.
You don't actually know about him?
Well, I know that he comes from lots of money and such, and he says he
that's what he told you?
I mean, he was in the high deck lounge, so I just assumed.
Yes, he does tend to insert himself into situations like that. He likes to think that he has money, but in fact he has none, and that's why he tends to latch himself on to people like me and people like you.
Well, I mean, madam, I'm sorry we did get this quite not the greatest introduction, but I do have to say, you do look very presentable. So,
God, please spare me your pleasantries. I don't need to hear it.
Well, I mean, since we are here anyways and seated, 1 minute later, I mean, we might as well have at least a nice meal together, get to know each other a little bit. And maybe you could tell me more about this Dirk Handy that you know of him before I decide to invest with him.
Oh, invest? All I can tell you about Dirk Handy is that every word out of his mouth is a bold-faced lie, and you should not invest in anything that he presents to you.
Well, I mean, he said he had some sort of investment that he was looking for, and it would be bringing a great amount of income my way.
Could I have another mimosa, please? Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Sir, would you like anything yourself?
Yes, I'll have the soft crab eggs Benedict with a side of the hash.
I can't eat seafood in the morning.
And a drink? Would you like a drink as well?
Bloody Mary, very much bloody.
Yes, quite. All right, thank you.
Cut. Sorry. Just way too long. Man.
Nice job there, Pep, grabbing the towel or whatever it is.
Always helpful. Always nice and helpful.
Totally.
He called for a waiter. Like, I guess I'm the only other person not in the scene. So
that was fantastic. I love it.
Well done.
I love it.
Well
It was
done.
fantastic. So that was black, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So I actually kind of want to see this end up. I like the idea of maybe it going good for Grace. So by giving her a black die, it would actually hurt her with a white die.
Okay.
So I don't want to go bad. So I'm actually going to give this to Chris, though. I mean, so far he has 2 black dice for you.
T-Rex problems.
But we'll see how that goes.
All right.
All right, so Mr. Roland Russell is up next to set the scene.
I think it's time for the flashback scene.
Oh.
Yes.
Yes.
And so it's going to be a flashback to Roland and Thomas back in the war.
Okay.
And we're on a ship. We're on a ship, and we're having problems with the captain of said ship, who may or may not be familiar in this case.
Okay.
And let's make, just in case the captain does come in, let's make Victor the captain.
Okay.
Captain, my captain.
Oh, captain, my captain. And
who's
Crystal,
Victor?
I believe you haven't been director yet, so I want
haven't
to
been
make you director. Yeah.
Hey!
Yes.
Good choice.
All right. Also, it's dark. It's nighttime. We're supposed to be fairly silent, so let's just make.
This should be good.
Yeah. Psst, psst. Tom, you still awake?
Yeah, Roll, what's up?
This has been a hard couple of days. We've lost some good people. I just have to tell you, in case tomorrow's our last day, that you mean a lot to me.
Definitely, for sure, man. I don't know what the leadership of this ship is even thinking. Like, we're definitely going the wrong way.
I don't understand. I don't know why we're heading straight into enemy lines. I mean, I thought it was time to stop. I thought we should be retreating, but yeah, I think he's gone power mad.
I for sure saw a letter come in that we were supposed to hold back for the rest of the group, and we've lost so many of our allies here. It's just really hard to sleep at night.
White die.
You know, maybe we should say something. You know, we can't just idly stand by and watch him drive us to our death. I think we have to stand up for everyone here.
For sure. I don't know what I could do if we have more losses and more men and more casualties. It's just not gonna go good for us here if we don't.
All right, let's go.
Keep full speed ahead, men! Full speed ahead!
Captain, you have
That's Ensign.
I wanted to have a talk with you. Tom and I, we wanted to have a talk with you.
Tom. Who is Tom? Who is this Tom?
You don't know your officers, sir? Obviously.
Oh, you with the face. Why are you on my deck? I told you before, we're not turning this ship around, and you get off my deck.
I think it's about time we started following orders from command and not just following orders from a random captain.
Look, command says these troops need to be on the front line. We need to see glory! Glory to the Queen.
What is that noise? Is that gunfire?
Oh, of course, we're in a war zone. What do you expect to be hearing?
We shouldn't be in a war zone. We should be going home. This war is over.
If we would have waited another week, we would have been out of this situation.
They don't know what they're talking about. There was no peace treaty. The war's still on, and we need to get to the front line.
I know what you need. You just want the glory. You want the recognition. But what are we going to get?
Us all killed.
Look, I am going to make a name for myself. Admiral shall be in my title, and this is how we will get it. Now, do you want to go home as a coward? Or do you want to be known as somebody who fought for their country?
And cut.
Oh, that's a good spot to stop.
Coward.
Nice.
The war's already over. The war's over.
Treaty signed.
Treaty signed. We're still going in.
You know what, though? I mean, think about it. Like, it wasn't instantaneous, right?
No.
Like, it took news time.
Oh no, but this captain had word. He knows.
He had a little bit of an agenda.
Right.
That's what you're saying. All right.
All right, and we were given a white die, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Roy, do you already have white dice?
Yes, sir.
I will give the white die to you then.
Ooh,
Nice.
looking good. It's good for Thomas Sampson.
Well, so you say. At the moment. At the moment.
All right, and it is Thomas Sampson's scene.
I would like to set up the scene where Thomas finds Roland on the ship and lets him know that the same captain that just barely had to survive and many of our crewmates died back in the day is also the captain of this ship as well.
Oh man, I love it. I love it.
And I mean, I'm gonna be all ragged and everything, and gonna be confused why I'm even there. But
Roland's probably going to be drunk. Just going to point that out.
And I'd also
Established
like
character
Chris's character to interject at some point, trying to find me again.
Okay.
Just have this running scene. It's always just looking for you. I like it. This is fantastic. Who do you want
Awesome.
to be the? Who's then going to be the director?
We'll have Crystal be the director again.
Okay.
Nice.
The captain may need to make an announcement during this.
Oh yeah, and you can come in as the captain. Well, actually, I don't know if we're that far yet. We've got to make our plans first before.
There's some turbulence during the flight.
All right.
Awesome. Roland, I've been looking for you everywhere.
Oh, Tom, it's so good to see you. Would you like a drink?
I heard that you were on this ship. I have no time for drinking. Like, this is serious. It's like the old days. I'm on a mission. We have to make this happen.
Friend, there's always time for a drink.
I don't think you understand. He's here.
Who?
The captain of our old ship, who got all of our squad mates killed.
Listen, friend. Why do you think I came to this ship?
Awesome. So we're on the same page.
Yes, but I thought there's some more things that can be done while I'm here. You know, it's there's no need to be dreary. Let's have some fun. You know, the captain will come to meet his destiny.
Well, I'm glad that you've gotten over the war. Some of us, it's definitely stuck with us a little bit too long.
White die. White die.
Well, some of us didn't abandon our post.
It
And
was
so,
your idea from the beginning, Roland.
I know, but I didn't expect you to jump off the ship. I thought that you would stay with me by my side. But you know what? You know what? I have no grudge. I'm happy you're here now, and I think we can work together. And I think this will be good.
I definitely want to make this happen.
I enter from across the room in a scouting manner.
There's the guy that's been stalking me again. I had to do some tricks to get on the ship. If you could stall him, like that would be awesome. Just don't let him know that I'm here. And
Of
I
course.
duck and hide up under, run around a corner basically in the ship.
Sir, you look like a man who is well-to-do. I bet you could afford a drink, couldn't you?
Well, you're the brother of that fellow, aren't you?
Oh, right. Your name, I forgot your name.
Dirk. My name is
Dirk.
Dirk Handy.
Right.
Yes.
Would you like a drink?
I would love one, sir.
Oh, excellent. Here, you just have mine.
Sir, that looks like it's only from the 3rd shelf. I must go to the $5 shelf for you.
Oh, well, maybe I'll just splash.
Sir, sir, can I have 2 of the $5 shelf from the Russell tab, if you would? Be so
Tell
good.
me, bartender,
Yes.
is $5 the best you can do?
You know what? Let's make it 6.
Ooh, I can taste it already.
Jack and I go way back. 6 will be fine. He'll probably be drunk when he signs for the bill. Anyway, well, oh my God, he has to climb that ladder?
And cut.
I love this interjection. Thomas Sampson abandoning his post. This is fantastic. I love it.
It was so good. She cut off last time just before we talked about whether we were going to go with the captain or not. So I'm just like, oh, this is good.
Yeah,
this is
juicy.
fantastic. I like it.
At one point in my life, I did want to be a screenwriter, so...
Nice.
Very good.
So, who's Roy going to pass the die off to then?
The
Awesome.
white die.
Was this Roland scene or was this Pep scene or Roy scene?
It was Royce.
It was my
This was
thing.
Roy's.
Yeah.
I just totally took it over.
Yeah.
I was about to look for the scamp, but
Cool. I guess I'll give the white die to Chris since it's going good for him. Still mooching off everybody's tabs.
Oh, nice.
I'm a bon vivant who can't necessarily pay for it. But I'm not quite as obvious as Roland, I guess. Excellent. So,
Grace Mayfield scene now.
That's me.
What is Grace up to? When last we saw Grace, she was having brunch and ordering another mimosa.
This is interesting. I'm trying to think who I haven't had a scene with yet.
Or, I mean, it's a matter of where do you want to see Grace go? Like, what is Grace at this point? Where does she want to see happen in her scene? You know?
Right. I think.
There's even an argument to be said for you could do the final scene now. You could do a future flashback. I've seen that, and it's just like trying to make it happen is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
but you can do whatever you want. That's the best part.
Right.
Yeah. I think I actually want to do another scene with Thomas.
Yeah, I think we need to flesh that out a little bit.
Yeah.
I think we're going to go way in the future. Maybe not like we're still on the boat, but maybe it's a few days later. So we can always jump back in other scenes. But I think Thomas and I are going to be commiserating about something. And I will bring up what that is at the beginning of this.
I have a feeling I know it's one of two things, and I think they're sitting on both sides of this television.
Anyone else do you need in the scene at all?
Okay, I think Jack Russell might want to pop in at some point.
Okay.
Who knows? Maybe Jack and Roland come in together at some point.
All right.
Okay.
So that means I direct?
You're right.
Yes, you direct, please.
Nah. That might not go so well. And cut! No. All right. So fast forward a couple days in the future in the voyage.
I'd say, well, like we're going to say pretty far, like not whatever our the end of this adventure will be, but very near the end of it. potentially.
Very near. So coastline, not quite yet, but
I mean, depending on, I don't know how this adventure is ending quite yet. So I guess it could be
neither do
coastline.
we. So
Yeah, it could end any number of ways, but I'm going to say that it hasn't ended quite yet. Maybe we're nearing whatever the eventual end will be, and we just don't clarify what that is in this scene in particular.
all right. So set the scene and whenever you're ready.
Thomas, it's been interesting, hasn't it?
It's definitely been crazy, Grace.
I mean, let's raise a glass to Dirk's memory, because while he was a pain in the proverbial ass, he didn't deserve to go out that way.
I mean, I don't know if I'd even go that far, but, sometimes things work out for the best for everyone.
I will admit, it did make me a little bit happy.
Oh, some people just want what they can't have and just try to live well above their means, and
I mean, they said that they could save him, so I don't know. I think I imagine he's done for after all that.
we can only hope so.
So what have you been up to?
I mean, trying to stay out of people's closets,
I mean, you are really good at finding dresses, for the record.
And cut.
So there's a lot in that scene.
Yeah.
That's why I said it had to be very, very, very close to the end, because otherwise that would be mean.
That's interesting.
Oh. I live on through flashbacks.
Hey, but I've set up Dirk for a very cool scene in the middle of that.
I'm like writing down notes for myself, and I got Dirk maybe dead? Question mark. Near death.
Or at least I think he's dead. See, that's the interesting part.
Yeah.
I'm thinking pneumonia, right? Because
right, like I
pneumonia's
believe
not that bad.
something has happened to him that caused him to die, but that doesn't necessarily mean that what I think happened actually happened. I was trying to make sure that I didn't want Chris to be upset. I wasn't just going to be like, and he's off the side of the ship and clearly gone.
Did you ever say black or white?
No, I did not.
You're just so...
He's wanted to end.
You're just so
possible.
Before you found out more.
I threw him for such a
I
look.
think it went. I think it was white for her.
I think it was white.
It was totally white for her.
Okay, so I'm actually going to give the white die. Or wait, Roy, you already have 2 dice, right? I'm going to give the white die to Dirk. It looks like you only have 2 dice in front of you.
No,
Is
I
that
have 3. I
Dirk
have
has
2
3.
black. Actually, I should have a red.
Okay, I only have 1 right now. Does anybody else only have 1 also?
I got
Roland has a black.
Right.
You know what? I know that's one of each color is technically bad, but Roland, you're a good dude. I'm giving you the white die.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right. So I guess it's me.
Right, and so this is going to be the last scene before the tilt.
Before the tilt. Oh, we need a big setup then.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's not quite... Shit hasn't quite hit the fan.
But we need...
it's getting close.
The cow needs to be positioned.
Something needs to happen. So
all right. Okay, so we're going to kind of need everybody. But I think, Victor, you're going to be the director. Because you understand my timing, and as bad as that may be, I think that's a good thing. The scene is going to start with Roland and I walking below decks. Now, we may encounter Thomas, because he's kind of shifty and hanging out and doing things. And it gives the ability for Grace to pop in at any point. So I kind of see it like, we're walking below decks. Dirk's a tall guy. He's like 6'4.5". It might be kind of realistic, and he's kind of having to hunch a little bit in these lower holds, and he's walking around, and he's got a 75% inebriated Russell with it. Like, Russell's pretty gone, but he's not non-functional yet.
Okay.
All right?
And at some point during the scene, can you walk onto, like, some type of outside, like, balcony or something on one of the lower decks? Like, can you move from inside to outside at some point?
Maybe.
Okay.
Okay, because I have a specific reason for asking, but
Okay.
All right, so who's
I'm not going to
who's
push you off the side of the boat.
No. So let's not get.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm inclined to do that.
Only for how I can interject myself. It has nothing to do with you. For the
Okay.
Are you gonna like totally like Catwoman in?
No. I have something funny though.
We nixed Cthulhu in the setup.
I know. No.
Saying.
I tell you what, I 100% am running this again. And those pre-set-up characters for the deep one is coming in.
All right.
So who do you
I do
want
have
to
one
see?
question before we start, though.
Go ahead.
Shoot.
Is this soon after our last scene together?
In between our last scene and the scene of that Crystal just set with my imposing questionable outcome.
Yeah. Okay.
So at some point in between there, you and I have kind of made acquaintance. So maybe shortly after. Like,
Okay.
I don't know if we've gone to $7 scotch, but we definitely had 6.
This is terrible.
Wait, what you just said did not sound like what you intended it to say.
So
I blame my non-existent lisp for that.
I told Pep to distract you, but I didn't know it was going to be that.
Listen, I know how to be distracting, okay?
It doesn't say anywhere you can't. Just saying.
So we're gonna have Dirk. We're gonna have Roland.
Dirk and Roland, and if Thomas feels inclined to pop up at any point,
if
the door is feel free.
And then and maybe Grace might, if it feels necessary as well, maybe.
Yeah, I expect that towards the second half.
Okay.
Unless you like cut after the first scene
Right.
because it's just awesome.
We'll see how it flows. All right. So starting with Dirk and Roland.
Dark hallway, barely electrical lit. Roland's kind of swaying a little bit. The ship might be swaying. I can't tell because he is. So Roland, I need your help with a special little project. You might have to set one of those down. You're gonna have to pick a friend to come along in this journey with you. I'm afraid to ask like 2 or
It's
3.
hard choices. $5, $6, $5. I'll go with the.
I say $5.50, and you combine them both.
Oh, that's genius. I'll just perfect.
Well done, sir. Like a champion. Excellent. So Roland, we're walking down this passageway that's a little low class.
Yeah, careful
See
there.
what I
Careful
did
there.
See what I did there? I'm funny. Tell me I'm funny. All right. So,
you are the funniest person I have met on this ship today.
Roland, I'm really gonna hate when you go. Anyhow, let's go in this door. Don't worry about this big handle. Squeaky, squeaky, squeaky. Open. Let's walk. Careful. Step through. Now.
Okay.
Now there is an automobile over here. Now, I know it's big and dark. That's why I brought this candle that I'm going to give to you.
Oh, thank you.
I'd like you to go to that car, that automobile right there. And there's something in a lockbox in the trunk.
Oh,
It's about the size of your fist. And it might be shiny, but don't worry about that. Don't. But
I see.
I'd like you to grab that for me. I need to stay here because I have to hold the door. Because if I let the door go, we're trapped. And then the only way out is through that dock door, and then we have to climb the outside of the ship. Do you really want to do that? No, I don't.
I've
must
climbed a lot
go.
of ships, but not now.
No, especially with this guy at the helm. He's crazy. I don't think he knows where we're going. But
Yeah, he'll be going somewhere bad real soon.
okay. Let me hold that drink for you, sir. Just run along and grab that out of the back, would you? Be so kind,
Yes,
sir.
there you go.
Black die.
So black
Listen,
grenade.
it sounds like this might. Is this
Yes.
your car?
Yes, sure.
Okay, I don't want to do anything.
Don't worry about the lacy interior. It's mine. I like to go incognito.
Okay, let's see. Oh, this trunk. I think it's locked.
Yes. Don't just open it with a screwdriver that's you somehow have.
All right, listen. I got a knife in my boot. I'll just.
Okay, that'll work. Just get it open. Don't worry.
Okay.
I got the door. The door's fine.
What door?
The one I'm holding.
Okay,
You go in the car.
I don't feel anything in here. It seems. Oh my
It's a
God!
small box.
This is something squishy. Is this?
No.
Is this a body?
Cut! That's fantastic. I was like, just a look, come on. I was like, Pep, I'm thinking, Pep, just a little bit more. Give me something. Like, give me something. It's either not going to be there, but he even took a step further. It's a body. I was like, fantastic. Fantastic.
Oh,
So that was black.
that was totally black. I think that's gonna go black for Pep. I really do. I don't think this is... Actually, no, I take that back. I think that's gonna go to Crystal.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean
Because
that if it's my car that the body's in, that does.
Yes.
Yeah, that
Yes.
sounds good. I like it.
Yeah, I like where that's headed.
All right, so we are now. That is the end of Act 1. This is the time in the movie when things really go bad, and I think we kind of set that up nicely.
Yeah. A body in a trunk that nobody knows.
So,
Well, it's not Thomas and it's not Grace.
right,
And
so
it's not... Oh, wait, who does that leave?
well, I mean, no, we don't know. We don't know. It could be anybody. I mean,
No,
it could be
because
Grace.
we were in the scene.
Well, right, it could be
Grace
Grace.
was
so
in the future.
She could be knocked out in the trunk.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
we don't know.
That's true.
I don't know. I
right,
don't think it's boding
I
well
can
for
play
the
dead, hold
captain.
So now, at this point, we're going into Act 2.
Act 2.
I don't know. Do you want to have an intermission at all or anything, or just keep
No.
it flowing?
I
like
think
it. Keep it
I think we
flowing.
need to keep going just based on time and everything else, right?
Yeah.
Does anybody need 5 minutes, or are we good?
I need like 30 seconds. I just gotta use the bathroom real quick.
Okay.
Guys have it awesome.
Lots of liquids.
There you go. Yes, yes.
All that $5 scotch will really move through you.
We're up to 6 now. Come on.
I'll be right back.
She's got a mimosa.
So, how are we doing? How are we doing, Ruben?
or
for
water,
regards-
you know.
Anybody in the microphone levels are good and all that stuff? And
Yeah, I mean, hindsight's 2020. I would have hung the microphone behind
Yeah.
the eyes.
Sure.
Nice.
still going good though.
All right. So we're gonna vamp for a couple seconds while
So,
Pep
yeah,
comes
so-
back. So let's do a quick recap.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually a good idea. I like that. So because I like this idea. We have Thomas Sampson, who
Stowaway
Stowaway.
extraordinaire.
stowaway.
Well, manservant who is not serving man at
Right,
all.
exactly. He keeps hiding.
Just saying.
I don't
like
even
to
know how
say-
you got me on the ship in the first place, because
Hey.
you obviously don't have the money.
No, but I have
Well,
the
he
swagger.
portrays that he has the money.
I'm a bon vivant.
Right. I like this. I'm picturing in my mind this movie, like every time we see him, every time we see Thomas, there's like, Durkas coming by. Where's
like,
my
oh, no.
manservant? And he just keeps running away. So leading up to this, I
Yeah.
actually watched a little bit of a movie called The Imposters.
Right.
It was based off of an older movie called Duck Soup, and that's running in my mind, very slapstick.
So let's just pause right there because
Yeah,
so Fiasco, for those of you who are are still watching, both of you, it's kind of a open-ended system, but at the same time, it doesn't tell you what your character is. It tells you what he does.
Right.
And I think it kind of tells that a lot. And one of the things it does is every single scenario that you get, like this one, it kind of gives you some suggested movie watching and some reading and things like that. And they kind of clue you into the type of movie that this scenario is based on.
Right.
And this, you were talking earlier about a couple that this one was based on, both of which being the imposters.
Right.
And the other one, right?
And so, like, some of them that I was looking at, so, in me personally, one of them is, that's talking about is the Titanic.
Right.
I have this just with me and an old high school friend who probably has not cared about this idea for since we said so. But,
until you copyright it, and then all of a sudden it resurfaces a la Mark Zuckerberg's friends. And says,
exactly. So we said, like, years ago that we would never see the Titanic unless, like, Star Wars made so much money. Like, and I don't even remember the full bet, but pretty much in my mind, I've just come to the conclusion, I'm just never going to watch the Titanic.
Really?
Okay, so, like, I've never seen it. I'm not.
You've never seen Leo on the...
I've never seen Titanic.
Never seen the...
Nope. No. I mean, I've seen the clip, right? I've seen that little clip. I've never watched Titanic. So I'm like, I'm not going to watch that. So I'm looking through this list, and I'm, like, reading them, and I'm like, nah. So I go with The Imposters.
Okay.
And it's this Stanley Tucci movie, and they're like these actors who are like, they're not really great, they're trying to get into acting, but they end up as stowaways on this boat, on this cruise liner. And it is just like, I didn't finish it yet. I didn't finish the whole movie, but it's like this like borderline slapstick. And I'm feeling this with Roy's, like, Thomas Sampson, because these guys...
He's just kind of, like, running in the background of all the scenes.
Like, in The Imposters...
I'm on a mission.
They start
to not get caught.
They're running away from this one actor who's, like, after them. Like, I'm going to get them killed.
Of course.
And so, like, every time you turn around, there's this weird situation that they're getting involved in. And so I'm picturing this Thomas Sampson just running through the boat, like, turns a corner, and then the guy's there. So
then he backs up.
Right. And he has to go in someone's closet, which is totally what the Imposters was doing.
Yeah.
So this is just, this is fantastic. So
I just kind of feel the quick mid intermission pause. I'm kind of feeling a lot of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Oh yeah,
and you know, I'm kind of feeling the Michael Caine Ruprecht. You know, I'm kind of feeling that right now, and it's.
May I take your trident, sir?
Yeah. Yes. Because if it was 4 tongs, it would be a fork. If it's 3, it's a trident.
Why does he have the cork on the fork?
The cork on the fork. Oh, that's got to be a name of my, like, that's it. That's the name of the bar that I open after, I don't know.
Cork on the fork.
Cork on the fork.
We lead
us into Act 2.
So we got Thomas Sampson kind of running around. I like this narrative is fantastic with this captain from World War I is now on the boat. Like
old.
Oh my god! Like this is that's brilliant. Like this captain who's leading them to death in war is now a captain of a cruise liner. Brilliant, right? And now we have Dirk Handy might be dead. We have this body in a trunk. We now know this mysterious object is like this shiny fist-sized thing that he's looking after. I think we got a brilliant setup here. Now, how Act 2 is going to go, they kind of spell it out a certain way, but I like to tweak it just a little bit here.
So we're going to go a little off the rails just because, you know, obviously 3 remote people, us close. So we're going to do this a little differently than we would do.
Now, so what we're going to do is we've been kind of have this, like, how we've been going around clockwise in this cycle here. Right. We're going to mix it up. We're going to start into our next act. And I'm thinking, let's start it, because we kind of had me starting it, you ending it, clockwise around. We're going to mix it up. We're going to start with Roy is going to start it in Act 2. And we're going to go counterclockwise. So now we're going to go Roy, then we're going to go Pep, then myself. And we're going to go that way. Mix it up a little bit.
Sure.
Now, the way that usually the tilt works is that we take our dice that we have, roll them out, and then we're going to do a little bit of math to figure out who's going to pick between the stuff here. Now, I don't know if everybody probably doesn't have the Fiasco book with them and has the tilt table, but just to make it easier, we're just going to do it on here on our end.
Yep.
So you're going to want to go to page 56, if you have it there. And let's just...
All right, so are we going to tilt everybody?
Right, we're going to create the tilt part of this. So normally it's going to be whoever has the highest total on a roll of dice of black and whoever has of white is going to be picking this. But just for the sake of it, we're just going to quickly do this here. And we want to interject something that's going to make the tilt happen. Some craziness that we're going to weave into the story a little bit to see how the craziness unfolds. Okay? So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to taking one of each die.
All right.
And just for the sake of it, whatever ends up lower, you're going to get. Whatever's higher, I'm going to get.
All right, now I'll go first.
Right, and then we're going
to
pick
So I picked the main. So for those of you at home, this is basically this is the way Fiasco works during character setup. There are 6 groups, so you get to define the main group, and then the second die defines the subgroup inside that main group.
Exactly.
So I get to pick the main group, but then Victor gets to pick the chewy little detail.
Exactly.
All right.
So then we're going to flip it up then. So you're going to pick the main. I'm going to pick the sub. Your main is we're going to be based off the die here.
All right.
Okay. All right. So you got the what did I say? You're going to get the lower. Sure.
Yep.
So let's have you. You know what? Let's just really mix it up. You pick the initial category between 3 and 4, and I'm going to pick the secondary.
I'm going to pick. So my choices are innocence or guilt, and given the way we're going, no one is innocent,
right.
So we are totally going to go guilt.
Okay. So let's just really mix it up here. I'm going to take these. So I got to pick under guilt. Let's mix it up. All right. I got to either pick 2 or 6. So I got to go betrayed by friends or a showdown.
Ooh.
Well, those are both really good. Betrayed by friends or a showdown.
Because you have an abundance of none, and then a lot of another.
We have right. So I'm actually gonna pick betrayed by friends.
Okay.
Betrayed by friends. So somehow we're gonna weave betrayed by friends into this story. All right, now let's take it again. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to pick the top category, and then you're going to pick between how it boils down, okay?
All right.
All right, I got between 4 and 6. So I got between guilt and failure, and obviously I'm going failure.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
So under failure, your options are 4 or 6.
So a good plan comes unraveled, or fear leads to a fateful decision. I think a good plan needs to come unraveled.
All right. Good plan.
Now, normally we do this for every single player, right?
No. So we usually, it's just still 2. It's still just 2 things. Usually how this works is just, like I said, the players from the first part of the round, or all the players are going to roll based on the physical dice they have. And then whoever has the most on black, the most on white, picks
so they just determine what they get to do.
So we're mixing this up. So for everybody, somehow in Act 2, we are going to weave in betrayed by friends and good plans come unraveled. Okay?
Sounds like a plan.
Right. However that comes in any of our stories, we just kind of want to mix that into a little bit. Okay?
All right. Well, I considering my plans never really came ravel, I don't know how they're unravel. All right.
Well, maybe there's a different plan that that Roland Russell was alluding to.
Yeah. So, and we're going to go 2 times around real quick on this.
Yeah, we're going to go 2 times around. Now, this one's going to be a little bit different. Act 2 is each person who's setting the scene is going to choose one of 2 things. They're either going to set the scene, and we're still going to have a director that says
good or bad.
Good or bad. Now, let's say, for instance, I'm setting the scene, and you're going to be the director. Mm-hmm. And you say, black die, it's going to go bad. Whatever
Okay.
you say, that's my die. Okay? I don't give it away. It's my die. It adds to my total. Okay? The other option is, let's say I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what I want to do with this scene, but I want it to go good for my character. Okay? So I'm going to pick the die. And then the rest of you are going to give a quick, like, okay, we want to see a Jack Russell in a scene with his brother and da-da-da-da-da. So you're either setting the scene or you're choosing to die for yourself.
Okay.
Okay?
So it's a little different. And then, so we're going to do this once, and then we're each going to just quickly at the end, instead of doing the tilt again, we just kind of surmise the end result of our...
Right. Actually, we're going to go around twice still again, so we're each getting 2 dice. So no matter what from it looks like from the spread of
good
everything
or
we got,
bad.
right, we're going to have good or bad. Everybody's going to have at least 2 more dice that they're going to add to their total. And then at the very end of the game, we're going to take all the dice that you have, roll them, and we're going to check out a table here, and we're going to see how that goes. Really, if you want it to go good for a character, you want all of the same dice. So it looks like right now, like for Mr. Thomas Sampson, he's got 2 white dice, right?
Yeah.
So if he wants to end good for him, he wants white dice.
Not likely to happen.
We'll see. So Roy might be deciding.
He might be the lucky scamp.
We'll see.
Who
Hey,
knows?
I go first, right?
Yeah.
He does, right.
So
Roy,
with the new rules you just stated, I can choose a white dice, and then you guys get to pick the scene, right?
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that what you want to do?
And you get to pick the director of that scene.
Correct.
Yeah.
So who would you like to direct?
Oh, if they're directing and I already picked a white dice, they just choose when to cut?
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
all they're doing. Yeah.
And it has to end well for you.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Cool. Well, I'm going to pick a white die, and I'm going to choose for Crystal to be the director.
Okay.
But you guys get to pick the scene, I guess. So
Yeah, we get to pick everything.
Okay.
Well, she gets to pick everything.
Well, we kind of, we collectively come up
Yeah.
with an idea. I like that. You know what? Let's do
starts
that.
it up.
Let's do that. Let's have the director, in this case,
Picks everything.
just kind of give the initial, who's in the scene, in the very basic premise, kind of thing.
Okay.
And it
I
has to
think
end well for him. That's all.
Right.
Roy, who's other than me? Who's the other person who you're directly quote unquote seated next to?
Pep.
Pep. Okay. So I think it's going to be Thomas and Roland in the scene, and it's going to be like an hour after the scene with the trunk of the car. Dirk is no longer present at all. Dirk's not in the scene at all.
Okay.
But Thomas and Roland are, and it's an hour later, and I will let you all run with it.
Do we have a location? Like, where are we at?
I mean, based on our characters, I'd say we're at the bar. But
Oh my God. Okay.
Like, we're not going to see a deck.
I'm
or
only
a
halfway
balcony
at the
on
bar
this
half the
ship
time,
yet.
because the other half the time I'm hiding and running away from
right, so maybe you're at one of the more obscure bars, like not one of the really prominent,
The obscure bars.
one of the smaller bars, the like.
Owen's
less
gonna be like,
crowded.
why am I here?
Voyager of the Seas right now. You're like,
$2 scotch maximum.
Yeah, no fancy scotch at this bar. I like it. Good job.
That's
Pat.
how we stay. That's how I keep my lowdown and stay away from Dirk.
nice.
He would never be seen in the low life bar.
So all you got to do is for this whole scene, for Thomas, somehow, no matter what the scene entails, we just want it to be that, however it kind of feels like it's going good for Thomas then, right? That's all we
Yeah,
care.
that's when we cut.
All right.
Okay.
Or she cuts, in this case.
Roland, my friend, where have you been?
Oh, I've been quite a few places, but I think I'm done drinking for the rest of this trip. Let me tell you.
I don't believe it.
Do you need me to get you water? Like, I don't want you to get hydrated, man.
No, listen. The last thing I found.
As he's drinking.
This is going to knock your boots off. Okay. Let me.
Listen, man, you know I'm an old friend. You can tell me anything.
So, Dirk, you remember Dirk, the one that you told me to distract, right?
Oh yeah, that guy.
He took me down to the basement. I don't know what the bottom of a ship is called. The hold.
Oh yeah.
And he took me to a car, and this thing Beautiful. Nice satin insides. It looked like it would be really comfortable.
Yeah, I remembered in the war, some people had pictures of like their girlfriend or their wives, and you just had pictures of your car. So I know that you're really into those.
Yeah, it was nice. He actually, again, I think this is why I've sworn off drinking, because he got me to pop the back open, and I would never, you know me, I would never damage a car. Okay. Either way, so I open the back of this trunk, and out of the trunk pops a body. Well, it doesn't pop out of the trunk because it's in the trunk. It's not moving. But
Oh my God, what was it?
Listen, do you remember Sam? Sam Fillinchester?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he had the same idea we did. Because he was in the trunk. I think he came to kill the captain. And I think the captain put him in that trunk.
Holy crap! You think the captain's on to this? This is gonna ruin our plans.
I know. That's what I'm thinking. And
We
so
have to watch our backs. I'm actually glad you found this out. That way we can know to make sure. Like, I mean, any of the staff could be like onto us.
yeah, and so Dirk was there with me, and so I was drunk. So I told him that I found a body, but I quickly corrected myself and said it was actually just a sack of apples. I think I don't remember. I don't remember what I told him, to be honest.
You were drunk at the time. I'm sure he wouldn't notice. He's not around. You don't know where he is now, is he? Him chasing us around this time is making it very hard for me to get to the captain.
No, listen. He was looking for something small and round and I guess apple shaped. He said it was the size of my fist, but he said he was looking for that. So when I told him that wasn't what was in there, he quickly left. He didn't even say anything to me. He just bolted out of the room. So, and it was dark. He had a candle, so I kind of had to knock my way around in the dark. So,
do you think he's like colluding with the captain in some way?
oh my god!
Like, I'm just paranoid of everything. Like, I have this grudge, and I know you're here with me, but like, I gotta stay undercover, man.
I think you're right. I think he might be colluding with the captain. I think we need to be on our guard. If you see Dirk again, you find a nice place to keep him, so that no one else finds him, and we can talk to him.
These never go good for me.
No, that makes the best stories. Everybody's just after you.
I mean, for the record, you set this up by making yourself a cat burglar, like for one of your very first stats. So,
Well, fair enough.
All right, so obviously we know to some degree that went well for Thomas, right? It went well to some degree.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, 'cause now I know that the captain knows that there's people that he used to work with that are after him.
Right.
yeah, like he's aware that somebody's on to him, which I figure
exactly.
Interesting.
But our plan also got messed up, so
Which that always happens.
Yeah, big surprise.
a good plan comes unraveled.
So we're going counterclockwise. So gonna have Mr. Roland Russell is gonna be up next in the scene.
Roland.
Would you like to choose your die or set the scene?
It's tough.
I think for this first one, I'm gonna let somebody else set my scene. I want to pick the die. I'll pick black. I want this done badly for me.
So who would like to be the director?
I'm gonna say Chris. Chris on this one. I'd like Chris to be the director.
Got it.
So who is going to be in the scene then? Roland Russell and who else?
So, I think Roland and Grace need to kind of flesh out what's going on because they met at the initial onboarding, right? And now we're fast forwarding, let's say, halfway in the voyage, 4 days, 5 days, shortly after the body in the trunk. I don't know that Pep knows, or I'm sorry, I don't know that Roland knows that Grace's car was the car that he tried to break into.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I don't think you know that yet. Okay? Up to you. But I think it's just you two just kind of... I don't want to say the bar. You guys met on the Lido deck. It's
Lido
nice
deck?
outside. Yeah, there's a bar on the Lido deck. And
don't
it's
know.
outside bar
What is a
this time.
Lido deck?
And there might be a balcony nearby.
No, I don't know what Lido deck is.
Watch the Love Boat, man. Just
All right.
saying. All
Before my
right, so
time.
you guys are on a outside bar, nice afternoon. You come up to Grace, and you don't know that it was her car last night that you broke into.
All right.
Anybody else, feel free to chime in as you want.
And it's gotta go bad.
And it's going to go bad for Roland.
Right.
Right. And action.
Oh, Grace, it's nice to see you again.
You seem a little more sober than the last time we met.
Yes, I've sworn off drinking for the time being, but listen, last night I saw something troubling.
Troubling. I mean, there's been quite a few troubling things that have taken place on this boat. Honestly, it feels like this voyage is cursed.
I think so. Listen, I don't want to talk here. Do you have somewhere private we can go?
We can go back to my stateroom if you'd like.
Yeah, I'd like that very much. Lead the way.
All right. But okay, so here, hold on. Here, this is the stateroom, but I know it sounds weird, but I gotta check in the closet. Sometimes people show up in there, and it's a thing. So hold on.
Fair enough.
All right. It seems like the closet is clear, so I just don't ask.
Perfect. Do you want to check under the bed or?
No. Really, the closet's the only thing that's been problematic.
think Roy
Okay,
needs to be
okay.
in the bathroom.
That would have been great if Roy was under the bed.
Well, I was like, which color dress would you like today?
That would be fantastic.
Just saying.
Okay.
So listen. You seem like a pretty trustworthy woman. Am I right?
I mean, I believe I am.
Okay, Dirk. And that Dirk fellow. What do you know about him?
Dirk is, for all intents and purposes, just quite a... Do you mind if I speak frankly?
No, be frank all you like. I know a lot of Franks, and I very much like them.
Dirk is probably my least favorite person on this boat. He has been chasing after me. He's been trying to get something that belongs to me that's very important to me. It has has a significant value to me, both monetarily and emotionally. And
Fist-sized?
I suppose you could call it that. That's a very specific thing for you to say, though.
Listen, last night, Dirk took me down into the lower hold, and it was looking for some sort of a fist-sized object. And because he's been after you, I just put two and two together.
What kind of an object was he looking for? Did he specify?
He didn't, but what I found is the problem. Listen, I'm going to trust you with a lot of information here. I am here on a secret mission. The captain of this ship is an old friend of mine, let's say, a bad friend, and I would like.
If the captain's your friend, then we could send him after Dirk, and we could just take care of all of this right away, right?
The other kind of friend, the kind of friend that you wish bad things upon.
Your friends are very different than mine.
Yes. I've had a troubled life. Okay, but either way, I think your friend Dirk is working with my friend the captain, and
cut.
Oh, all right.
It hadn't ended badly for him yet.
Oh, I think it could.
I mean, I had such a good moment for you to cut on too.
Every time I thought Pep would go there, he didn't.
Oh no, I was gonna slap him fall across the face at a certain point, but
Oh, I missed the slap.
Yep, you missed the slap. No
That's
slap.
why you don't make me director.
All right, you know what? Hey, let's take this. So mine's up next. So why don't we just say I'll set the scene. We're gonna let I'll pick a director here. I'll set the scene so someone's gonna choose a die. Let me do where it's gonna be myself, Roland, and Grace.
Ooh.
And just as you're talking,
The captain barges in.
no, I'm gonna walk in just at this.
I like
point,
this.
Okay, so literally we're talking seconds, right? Later.
Yep.
So I'll walk in at this point, and
Dice undetermined.
right. I don't know how it's gonna go for me
So,
particularly.
We know I can't do a good job directing.
Let's let Roy.
Roy's going to direct.
Roy's gonna direct.
Okay.
So
That's
Roy,
fair.
Roy has to say cut, and he also has to say how it ends for Mr.
you.
Jack Russell here. It's
Yeah.
either going to end good or
And
bad.
it's directly you. You don't give this away.
Right, exactly.
No pressure.
All right, so let's
Cool.
just literally let's continue. You guys continue exactly where you were, and then I'm just going to come in then. All right.
All right.
What was the last thing we said? Does anyone remember?
Something about
You said the captain and Dirk are working together.
working together, and that was
Oh.
basically the couple.
Yeah, that was kind of it.
Okay.
We need to survive. Don't forget.
Let's keep it going. So you keep going to conversation. I'm just going to come on in when it feels necessary.
Okay. Okay, if the captain is working with him, then the captain is obviously a bad character as well.
I agree, and I would like nothing more than to help you get rid of both of these bad characters, if you know what I mean.
I mean, that's not necessarily necessary, but can we go back? You were saying something about a fist-sized object, and while that's still a very odd way to describe things, it does strike me as something familiar. Could you tell me more about what happened last night?
Roland!
Roland! Hello, brother!
There you are! There you are! Look, they have told me that my bar tab is up to $125.
Is that all?
That's all!
I have tried to get it much higher than that. I have failed. As your brother.
Excuse me, I didn't know that. I'm sorry. Ms. Mayfield, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were here.
Hi, Jack. It's nice to see you again.
Yes, we didn't really finish our discussion from brunch the other day there.
Oh, you two know each other?
Well, Mr. Dirk Handy kind of introduced us, but while Mr. Handy said that he could invest in my business, Ms. Mayfield here said it wasn't a great idea. So I'm not quite sure about this Mr. Handy character.
Yes, we were talking about Mr. Handy just now. Roland, I mean, this is your brother, right? You could say anything in front of him, I imagine. I just want to know about what happened last night. Could you please just tell me?
I say lots of things in front of my brother. Usually...
Yeah, I assume this happens to be part of your scheme of being here, Roland?
It's gonna be black die for you, sir.
Oh, no.
Why do you have to assume I have a scheme? Listen, you were right. I did have a scheme.
I knew it! I knew it!
And
Always
I will
something
make
up
you
with
a
you.
deal right now, favorite brother of mine.
I'm sorry. You've been ignoring me for the past couple of minutes, and you are the rudest person.
Oh!
Cut.
And what's funny is that wasn't the reason I was planning on slapping him.
Ah!
It went a different
needs a
direction, so I found
reason?
another excuse.
Who needs a reason?
Any reason to slap Pep?
I
I mean,
eventually
Roland.
cops
Roland.
breaking into my car. That would be the reason I'd slap him, but we couldn't get there, so...
He was beating around the bush a little bit.
Yeah, I like it. It was good.
Alright, so that's a black die for me.
Oops.
I told you, there's always a scheme with my brother.
Your brother's running up your bar tab. He's getting slapped right in front of you. Things are
Right.
not going well for the Russell
Well,
family.
the slap was good. It was the good part. The slap was the good part. He deserved that.
Roy's definitely a better director than I am. Because he was right on it. He's like, cut!
All right, so Mr. Dirk Handy.
Dirk Handy.
Would you like to set the scene, or choose the die?
So I think Dirk and Jack.
Okay.
They haven't actually like really.
We've had a little bit.
But
Right.
I don't think we've like fleshed this out. So I think I need to like visit you on the bridge.
Okay.
Because you're a hard man to pin down.
Okay.
I will not set the die. I'm going to set
Right.
the scene.
Okay.
All right. Pep, Roland, you're going to direct.
Okay.
And because Thomas is everywhere, he may pop up. And if Grace feels the need to interject, by all means,
Okay.
please do.
At what time? Just in the timeline, where are we at?
Let's talk. We're about we're just about like we're on a British ship, right? So let's say
Right.
I want to say high tea, but
Are we what in the frame of the week? Where are we at?
I'd say we're about a day before the scene that Grace had set at the end.
Okay.
Like, I think Grace kind of set the terminal scene, like where apparently something happens to me that might be unfortunate.
Okay. So we're
okay,
closer
so
to the end.
Closer to the end,
Okay.
but not the pen ultimate.
Okay.
Penultimate.
Penultimate.
Penultimate scene. Because I
Okay.
think you set the penultimate, if not the ultimate, and I think we're going to go right before then.
Okay.
But we're going to go after my failed attempt to get Roland to actually
Gotcha.
do my work for me.
All right.
But, yeah.
All right.
So, walking into the bridge. Wow. It's quite a commanding view up here. Are you sure you should be drinking a beer right now?
Every time I'm awake is a good time to be having a drink. That's my view of it.
Even while you're on duty? Duty?
Well, I mean, the captain's on duty. I'm just here to whisper in his ear. That's all. Me and the captain go kind of way back.
Why did you give me the impression you were the captain?
Well, I mean, because I'm always telling him what really would be helping him out. So I am kind of per se directing where we're going. But
White
he's kind
die.
of a pushover.
Wait, Ty. All right.
He's kind of a pushover.
Cheers. Cheers. Let's go out on this flying bridge. I mean, it's getting a little hard to see, but I still think it's worth looking out here and seeing the grand escape.
So, Mr. Handy, we need to talk a little bit. I mean, we seem to be hitting off well, right? We seem to be hitting off well.
Similar interests, sir.
Right, exactly. But
Exactly.
there are some here that I'm just don't feel that.
Are you not worried about these icebergs at all?
Well, oh, they're fine. They're fine. So this is Mayfield. The other day, she doesn't seem to be a fan of you. That's all. She has some very choice words. I mean, some that I am surprised that a
Yes.
lady would say.
Well, Mrs. Mansfield is quite literate in those words, if you know what I mean. If you know what I mean.
It's Mayfield.
Yeah.
Mayfield.
Yes. Well, unfortunately, I'm kind of an acquired taste.
Well, I mean,
not
right?
for
Not
everybody.
everybody can enjoy the lifestyle that we per se
Yes,
enjoy.
yes,
But
yes.
she thinks you're a fraud.
Well, did you happen to touch her car in the hold by any chance?
Her car? No.
Yes.
I don't touch cars. They just open for me.
Sir, you would remember this one. I believe you may have even sat in it. It was that red Cord 1911. It was gorgeous.
Oh, I mean, I have seen the car. I mean,
okay.
it was nice.
Did you come on, you tell me. You opened the door.
Well,
did you touch? Come on,
sir. I don't open doors. I don't open doors at all.
Are you sure?
The manservant opened the door for me, but yes, I did see the interior
and
of that.
Of course, you had to touch the steering wheel, right?
Well, yes. I mean, was
I
nice.
thought you might have. So do you? Oh my goodness, what's that down there?
Huh?
Is that an iceberg?
Well, yeah. I mean, they're around.
Push!
Wow!
And cut!
What is going on? What is happening?
Well, we never defined who was in the trunk. And you were never in the last scene. So.
Wait, what die did I get?
A white one?
It was a white die!
You got the white die?
It was a white die!
So that was a good ending for you.
I guess.
That was good.
I guess.
Maybe
So
it's not over
clearly
yet.
There was a very cushy lifeboat just directly over the edge of the balcony that you are now comfortably lounging in.
Yeah, now we have to make this. So who's that? Is it me that's next?
You're up next.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess we kind of need to pick up that scene. But now I need to run into Roland on my way down.
All right.
Okay. Thomas, you have to come into this because I have to actually ignore you this time because I'm more worried about regret. So that leaves Grace/Crystal as director.
Okay.
So wait, who's in the scene then? Is it yourself?
Well, it's going to initially start with me, and then I'm going to run into Roland on the way to somewhere.
Sounds good.
Because we have to make right.
All right.
So, all right. Scene set. I just finished pushing Victor off the
So
ledge.
when did that take place?
So that took place before your final conversation
Okay.
with Thomas about my demise.
Okay.
All right.
So that was
But is
way
this after you saw, or after the whole truck?
after everything else.
Okay, so we don't know whose body was in the trunk still.
No, it was Sam something and others.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
Sam.
that's right.
Yeah, Pep defined that.
Sam
It was
Fillinchester. I wrote it down.
Chester. Yeah.
And my character doesn't know that the car is yours, Grace. But
Okay.
why do you have
Actually-
one of our?
Neither does Roland. Roland
I
doesn't.
know nothing about my car being broken into or a body in it or anything at this point.
All
Like
right. At
I
the
got some
very-
information out of Roland that something was going on with a fist-sized object, but he didn't even get to the car. So
So, well, this scene starts with me just shoving him off the edge of the flying bridge. So Victor is currently tumbling in the air, and I am standing there, and I'm kind of shocked that I actually just did this myself, because I'm the burglar who has never injured a person. It's a victimless crime, etc., etc. Backstory. Read in what you will. But the first person I'm going to run into is Roland as I'm hustling down the stairs to see what the heck just happened. So, real quick, I just shove. What did I just do? And then I just turn around and I start running down the steps. And all of a sudden I run into Roland on one of the decks below. Roland, you got to help me. Your brother just jumped.
What?
Dude, I was standing next to him and he just jumped off the bridge. You have to come with me. We have to run right now.
Let's go.
Come on. Let's go. All right. At this point, I run into Thomas.
Roland, I saw this man. He pushed your brother. He must be working with the captain.
No.
He must know that he was your brother, and he's trying to stop him. We need to end him now.
Come on. I think he hit a lifeboat. I don't think he actually cleared the
White
side.
die.
Let's go.
white die.
White die.
Listen,
Come on.
Let's
Let's go. You two, follow me.
I think
Goodbye.
you need to stop.
No!
What do you know about the captain?
Explain to us what you know.
We need to go! We need to go now! He's there! I saw him, I swear. I swear he hit this lifeboat. He jumped, he didn't make it, he hit a lifeboat. Roland, come with me. Don't worry about Thomas. Don't worry about him.
Lead the way.
Alright, come with me. See, right here, this lifeboat. Rip the cover back. All of a sudden, we look in, and there you are. Just sprawl. Unconscious, unresponsive.
And cut.
At least I'm alive.
Well, it's whitish.
That's got to be the good ending. Is he's not dead?
I'm not.
and
I'm not quite dead
I'm
yet.
not a murderer, and you're not quite dead.
Not
See?
quite
Good
dead yet.
for both of us. All right. Oh my goodness.
So what was that? What dye color was that for you then? Sorry.
white dye for him.
Oh, that's not good.
That is fantastic. 2 black. I have down 2 black, 2 white.
Yeah,
That's
kinda
fantastic.
Oh, geez, really?
No, it's not. He's being sarcastic.
I thought I was being nice by giving you a white dye.
No. Oh, that's great. That's great.
I got vaporized in the Terminator movie
Oh my
last
god.
time.
This
so.
is gonna be great.
All right, who's next?
Man, that was a fantastic game. That was a Alpha Complex we played,
Yes.
right? That was fantastic. Grace Mayfield is up then.
Yes.
That's me.
All right. Would you like to
I-
set the scene or pick the die?
I'll set the scene. And
brave. Very brave.
I think I'm going to have Roy direct. And it's going to be me and Dirk. And because I couldn't get any information out of Roland, I have now scoured the ship to find Dirk to figure it out what Roland was babbling on about. Because I know that Dirk wants my diamond, but Roland never actually got to that part of the story, and so I'm very confused and I'm very upset, and I want to talk to Dirk about it. And let's say this is prior to all of the pushing of Jack off the ship. This is so before all of that has happened. Probably right after Roland and them left my room, I bust out and I go looking and I find Dirk somewhere.
Okay, sounds good.
I don't know where it's somewhere in the ship. No, I guess
Let me guess, a bar?
I'm going to say not a bar. I'm going to say
What else happened on cruise liners in the 1930s?
I don't know.
Shuffleboard?
You ate, you shuffleboard, and you
you know, but
drank.
I like
That's it.
shuffleboard. Let's say we're on the shuffleboard.
Okay.
Shuffleboard, okay.
Is it a shuffleboard court?
Yes.
Yes, we're going to say
Obviously.
that the only other people present are an elderly couple who clearly their hearing is kind of gone, so we don't think they're going to
That's
be
why
in
you're a Vivant with me, so you can help correct
Right.
me when it's a court.
Obviously, the shuffleboard.
Obviously.
So,
All right.
And then Roy will be my director.
All right.
He's a good director. Good choice.
Dirk, my good friend Dirk.
Oh.
I'm so happy that I found you.
Grace, you haven't talked to me in days. Why are you here now?
I must admit, I've missed you. You were so present all the time for so long, and somehow your absence has left me wanting for something.
Most women say that eventually.
That's so funny. I believe that you know my friend Roland. Is that an accurate statement?
Oh, he's that little fellow with Jack, right?
Yes,
he
he's
does
Jack's
like the drink almost as much as me.
You introduced me to Jack, and now I've become acquaintances with Roland as well. But I believe you also know him.
Oh yes. He's
So
a fine
Roland was
little
telling me a very interesting story.
He was.
Yes, he was telling me about your all's exploits last night. Would you like to explain yourself, sir?
Well, she said she was of age, but I'm not sure.
I'm fairly certain you know that is not what I'm referring.
No. I simply asked Roy to check on some cargo, as it were, and he found something quite interesting. Is there something you might want to tell me?
Okay, stop being coy. You know what I'm talking about. Just fess up. I've already notified the purser and the captain about everything you did last night, and unless you fess up right now, then I'm going to have you arrested.
Look, I'm sure when he gave me the description of the fellow, he did not look like your father. I don't think that was the case, and I certainly would keep any of that information to myself.
How dare you bring up my deceased father? You, sir, are just despicable.
Well, I'm no doctor, but I don't know that deceased is the right term.
My father died in the war 20 years ago, sir. What is wrong with you?
Then why is he in your trunk? And
Cut.
What is happening?
I don't know. We set up my backstory earlier, and this doesn't mesh with it at all, so I'm very confused about what I'm supposed to be doing.
Let's go with it, I guess. Go with it.
Like, I know I'm supposed to say yes when it comes to improv, but we already said my father died in the war, so...
Well, but maybe he didn't, and you're the heiress, and you're trying to collect the fortune ahead of his premature death.
It's got plans come unraveled.
It's kind of where I went. Unfortunately, I didn't know your father was Sam Phillichester.
No, my father is not Sam Phillichester.
Oh man!
I didn't know you were the illegitimate daughter of Sam Phillichester.
I'm so confused.
This is what happened.
Did I get a die?
You did. You got a white die.
I got a white die. Okay.
And for some reason, having a somewhat not dead era.
Well, not dead.
Not dead.
Finding out your father's alive sounds good to me. I mean,
thank you, Pep. Thank you.
He's not.
So
that's not how this works.
So maybe she thought it was her father that died, but it actually wasn't her father. Another guy is her father now.
Twins.
I think Sam is leading a double life.
What was it? Was it the Prestige or the Illusionist?
Oh, the Prestige.
Prestige?
Yeah.
Go with that.
Yeah, the Illusionist
wasn't
was the
on
one where he's
the,
cloning himself and killing.
intended
Oh,
reading.
sorry, spoilers. I guess that's an old movie, whatever.
It's been out for years.
I don't like to spoil old movies either, though. I just did the thing I don't like to do.
All right, so Darth Vader is Luke's father.
I should have worn that shirt today.
Wow.
All right.
Who kills Dumbledore? Just saying.
I was just gonna say that.
Oh, so I've actually only seen one Harry Potter movie.
Okay.
And my wife and I are planning on seeing them. So any time I ever hear anybody talk about Harry Potter, yeah, it's like I turn the volume down.
You won't want to do my escape room this year then.
So I have a couple months. I have 2 months, right?
Yeah.
Month and a half.
Yeah.
Month and a half.
Yeah.
At least I won't be in there by myself.
Hopefully not. It was so sad. I built an escape room for my my little personal convention, and Victor did it by himself last year.
Nice.
For 2 hours, he was in there, and
it was hot. The air conditioning wasn't on, and everybody else already did it, and I didn't do it yet. So I was like, I'll do it by myself. It was hard.
he was not very good.
Yeah, it was hard.
It was. All right.
So
Who's
it's
next,
back
Victor?
around to me, right?
Yep.
So does anything specific happen when we go all the way around?
Nope, it's still the same thing. We're gonna do one more time around, and that's gonna be it then.
But apparently Crystal needs to learn about her parentage. I don't know how to work that in.
So
because I'm very confusing.
Roy, are you trying to set up Thomas Sampson to be like the best character ever?
Dude, he's totally gonna like he's gonna Leo DiCaprio this whole thing. You know it. You know
Not necessarily.
Are you gonna choose the scene or choose the die?
I think I'm gonna choose the scene this time.
Okay, good.
Oh, that's brave.
That's fine.
White dice.
I know.
But I'm going to have Crystal direct, and Roland is gonna come in, and we're gonna try to actually figure out what we're gonna do about the captain. But then Dirk is also there because we think he's part of the whole captain thing too. So kind of picking back up where we left off. But I don't know, because your character was knocked out. So I guess Victor's character is unconscious, and we've just been like, oh, he's dead or unconscious or something like that. So
that'll make his scene really interesting.
Yeah.
Be the best dialogue he's had all night.
Oh.
Sorry. It's all over the place. Roland, we have to do this now. Like, there's too much at stake. Like, we're gonna be found out, and they're gonna kick us off the ship.
I agree. I don't know who's working with who. Let's just get it done.
Guys, help me with this body.
I think we need to get rid of him first.
He did try to kill your brother.
Well, that's fine. If my brother goes, it's water under the bridge for me.
I think the captain didn't know that you and your brother were in on this, or you weren't necessarily as close as others.
He's not dead yet.
Black die. Black die.
I think for now, I don't know what's happening with Dirk. I don't think he deserves the same fate as the captain, but I think we need to tie him up to make sure that he doesn't get involved in anything else.
Good idea. I grab some of the rope from the lifeboats and start to tie Dirk up.
I think I have a pulse.
Let's head to the captain's quarters.
All right.
Oh, what are you doing here? What? Oh my goodness!
Do you remember
Samson!
us?
Samson, is that you? You pathetic piece of shit! Who would abandon his? Ensign Russell, what are you doing here?
Oh, I've come for the same thing.
What, to abandon your post like this pathetic worm, Samson?
Yes, it's something I should have done 10 years ago.
You two were the only people that made it out alive, and you guys were lucky for that. All the rest of our comrades died, and I would have been with them.
Look, they were weak. Now, Ensign Russell here, he grabbed the reins, and he did his job as a soldier. And as a seaman, sure, we're on a boat, seaman. He did his job, unlike you pathetic Samson. What do you know? I can't even believe you're standing here today.
I start to like swing at him as he's talking trash about me.
And cut.
Boy,
I don't know if we were or if we were Navy or Army. I don't know. But
they were all the same back then.
Who knows?
Water and land,
Right.
water and land. It's
They
all
went
good.
back and forth.
Marines, they do both, right?
Sure.
So that was a black die for you, Roy.
Yep.
Aw.
You just had to
WWB.
Right, she just had to taint
She
his
just had to do
dipole.
it.
I mean, I had to.
Come on, he was the Leo.
This will be great at the end if he rolls like all white dice. He rolls as like 3 1s and then a 6. This will be fantastic.
All right.
All right, so we're on to Mr. Roland Russell. Would you like to choose the scene or choose the die?
I feel like last time I chose the die, I think I need to choose the scene.
All right.
And I actually want to continue the scene we just had.
Nice.
Big surprise.
Because I think I need to cause some trouble. So, and who am I going to set as the director? Well, you have just been tied up, Chris. So I think I'm going to make you the director, and then everyone else can just do whatever you want. If you think it makes sense for you to pop into the scene, feel free. Oh, sorry. Except, I guess you've already been the captain for so long, you might as well keep being the captain.
Yeah, that's fine.
Victor.
Yeah, I'll still be the captain.
So, it's up to you, Crystal, if you want to pop in or not.
Okay.
All right. So, I get to set the scene. So, just after that happened, like just after that conversation, as you start scuffling with him, you, let's say you push him to the ground, you know, as in you're going to finally do the deed. And suddenly you feel some cold, hard metal up against the back of your head.
Oh. What's going on?
Well, Thomas.
Is that all you got?
There's a reason that only 2 of us survived. After you fled, I sided with the captain. And we knew that you would be here tonight. And he knew that he'd need my help.
I trusted you. How could you betray me like this?
I trusted you too until you abandoned me.
I told you you're a pathetic worm.
You were right all along, Captain.
I just wanted to obey orders and turn around. You guys are foolhardy.
We had a job to do for our country, and you just abandoned your post.
We did it. I sided with you, Thomas. I sided with you until you decided to leave.
Who's there? Who's there?
I'm so sorry. Has anyone seen my hat? It went blowing off in the wind, and I just haven't been able. Oh gosh, there's something going on here, isn't there? I'm so sorry. Please excuse me. I'll leave.
No,
Grace.
I quickly hide the gun.
We need witness. We need to see that this Mr. Sampson is a terrible person.
White
Never
guy.
be trusted.
White
He
guy.
snuck onto the ship and he tried to kill the captain. It's a good thing I was here to save him.
This man deserves a medal of some sort. I'm gonna give him the brown heart. Yes, the brown heart.
I tackle Russell and try to grab the gun away from him.
Joe!
Oh no!
Joe, somebody come help! I'm obviously too old and feeble to be into this mixture.
All right, I dropped the gun.
I pick up the gun and hold it at the captain.
No, hold up now.
Cut! Just waiting for something extra there.
Good timing. That's a good timing.
So gun to the captain's head, but not your character's head.
I know now. Like
There's like a 6th character here.
I want to see
Crazy town.
I want to see more of the scene, but I gotta be Jack at this point. I want to see more about what happens with this captain now.
All of a sudden, Jack walks in on the captain.
Oh,
being
that's gonna be too weird.
No, that's very meta. That's very meta.
Too meta.
Maybe you see my hat floating by as you're laying in the lifeboat.
Oh,
That was very American Beauty, watching the hat like float by the ship while this was all going
Good
down.
job
one I've never
fitting
seen.
the friend betrayal in there.
Yes. Well,
I figured we're the only
considering
two friends, we
plan
had to
went
make it happen.
I knew it was coming. Our plan was messed up and friend betrayal, so this had to go wrong somehow.
Fantastic.
So where we left it, so let's recap what just happened, because that was kind of crazy nuts. So Thomas had a gun to the captain's head,
Right.
who is not Jack. He's an NPC that's been
Right. He's
introduced.
another character.
Right. And Pep's character, Roland, was freaked out about that. Like
Yeah,
he wanted to start that rope, but then kind of reneged on that
Right.
halfway through, right?
He's on
Yeah.
team captain side.
So
Well,
he went full team captain.
So
Yeah, he basically was leading me on to this point.
Yeah.
Right.
I was there to protect the captain the whole time. That's why I got my brother to bring me onto the ship.
All right. So
I think we need we got to tie in a little bit of this. I'm going to set the scene. I'm going to set the scene on this.
all right.
I want we got to bring a little bit more in and bring it all back around to the old Titanic story. So I think we're going to bring in the whole iceberg thing.
Dead ahead.
And so this is going to be now. They've tied you up. They've already tied you up, but I think
I just witnessed that whole thing.
They went about their business. They tied you up, and then they cared more about the captain.
Okay.
So now I'm going to be coming to. Yeah, I'm going to be coming
Captain
to
or Jack?
as Jack.
Jack. Okay.
And since Grace was there as well, it's going to be myself and Dirk. So I'm coming to, and you're like sitting there tied up. Okay?
All right. Are you tied up?
No,
No, he's in the lifeboat.
Yeah, I'm in the lifeboat.
You're in the lifeboat.
You just pushed me. I'm like, I got knocked out, and I'm coming to.
Okay.
All right. Let's make Pep director on this one.
Okay.
And let's have Crystal come in as a stewardess.
Okay.
She's going to be coming by just as some worker stewardess, just coming by in this scene.
So
However,
not as Grace.
Right, not as Grace, but as some stewardess, and however she feels to interject into that. Let's have that happen.
All right.
Okay.
Dude,
What?
wake up.
What?
Wake
What happened?
up.
Whoa, what happened?
Dude,
What?
sir, you tripped.
Well,
You tripped. You tripped over the edge.
I
came down here and I said, don't mind the fact that my hands are behind my
What's
back.
going
That
on
doesn't mean
here?
anything.
What's going on here? I was talking to you.
Right.
And how are you tied up, Dirk?
I met some unsavory fellows while I was trying to rescue you, I might add.
I must have took a tumble here.
You did. You did. But luckily the wind just kind of, for some freakish reason, blew you back onto this lifeboat. And I came down.
We just hit an iceberg.
Oh my God! Soyuz, please move to the inner decks. Get off of the bridge.
No.
Go! You need to. This area is
that?
not safe anymore.
I think we've hit something.
I think you should untie me.
Yeah, of course. Here, let me untie you here.
Oh, thank you. I
we
need to grab my
we
drink.
need to get somewhere to safety.
Please
Safety.
move inside.
We're in a lifeboat.
Miss, where
We
are
are
the?
in the
We're-
lifeboat. We're good.
Yes,
We're good.
yes. Miss, how do we
Bring them to us.
How do we let loose this lifeboat, Miss?
Yes.
No, the lifeboat won't save you now, Soyuz.
What?
You need to
Well,
move.
that's the point. It saves a life. It's a
No,
lifeboat.
it's fine. Icebergs happen all the time. You don't need to worry about it. Just move inside. They'll tell you what to do.
There's water rushing in the boats. Should
Oh,
we
you
get
don't
off
know
the
that.
boat?
This is a very large ship, and
Okay.
it's fine.
Well,
I think we need to ask the real question.
why is a woman talking to us?
Is there $8 scotch on this level?
I'm confused. The part of me wants the drink, but the part of me also wants to get on this lifeboat.
You know, they solved this problem 22 years ago.
Well, yeah, but
I'm
it's
gonna need to talk to my supervisor. I'm sorry. I'm gonna leave.
Well, Miss, hold on now. Like, what should we do? Should we go get the drink, or should we get on this lifeboat?
I mean,
I'm
honestly,
confused.
if I were you, I would just panic and then I run off.
Well, I don't know. I'm
Uh,
up to suggestions.
you know, at this point, I need a drink.
White die.
I think. My
Or
brother.
should we stay here?
No, well, my brother Roland feels like I should go try to save him. You
Is
know,
he nearby?
Well,
He was behind me when I
Oh.
came down for you. Roland!
let's go find Roland then.
Let's go find Roland. He has
All right,
all the
all right,
answers.
cut.
There we go.
I was channeling my inner Adelaide from Guys and Dolls.
I love the accent.
I didn't actually know that I could pull that off for that long, so
That's
I'm glad
fantastic.
horribly.
I love the accent.
Good Lord. We're in the lifeboat and it's sinking. Why do I want to go anywhere else?
She's just a stewardess, man.
She's-
She don't
I
know.
need motivation.
She's like, no, don't get on the lifeboat. Don't get on the lifeboat.
no.
It's fine.
I mean, when the Titanic was sinking at first, they were kind of like, no, everything's cool. So I figured
it's
she'd
cool, it's cool.
You don't want people to panic, and then eventually I'd be like, yeah, just panic. I don't
Yeah,
know.
just
what-
panic.
Just panic.
I feel like I was gonna do one of like a Muppets. Like,
All together now.
All right. Who's up?
we are on to you. We're on to Mr. Dirk Handy.
Dirk. Dirk, whatever happened?
There's still some stuff we got to figure out. So
I
And we're close to the end here. We're on to, if I'm correct now, we're on to yourself and then Crystal, aka Grace, and that's
Yep.
it.
that's
two
it.
scenes total.
Yeah.
All right, so we need to have some resolution here because we need to find out what the heck happened
Right
to
now,
Jack.
as we go into the final part of this, we go to the last two scenes, and then we're going to go into this kind of like we're going to go into this aftermath, and each character is going to talk about what happened to them
Sure.
after this. So, however we want to, I mean, Crystal's really going to be the one that kind of solidifies the punch of this and how.
Yeah, because
kind
her
of end
character is
the
the
scene.
pivotal.
Right, exactly. But we're each then going to be telling about what happened to us individually. So we're leading up
Okay.
to the end, though.
All right, so we need to. I think we need to solve what happens between Dirk and Roland right after he found the body.
Okay.
So we're going to do a little bit of a flashback.
Yeah,
Okay.
a little.
Just like a day or
We're
two.
going to backstep a little bit
Okay.
and kind of go back to Roland just called that there was something soft and squishy, and it was a body.
Now, what we end up hearing from Roland is that you just bailed.
Yeah, he said he lied to you about. He
Which-
said it was a bag of apples, and then you
Like-
left.
Which
But-
sounds like you locking the door on Roland.
Right, but Roland got out.
I guess.
So there must have been something else that happened.
Right.
Maybe he
okay.
was lying.
Maybe he was lying. Maybe I stammered. Maybe I took too long. Roy, I think you can be in this scene potentially because, well, you can be in any scene running in the background. I'm not dead yet. But
I didn't see the body
no.
because he explained the body to me later.
And
So.
Crystal knew. She didn't know about the car specifically. She knew that we were in it, but she didn't know anything of it. So, Crystal, you're going
I
to
don't even know that you were in my car. I don't know anything. I know that. I know there was some kind of a plot between the two of you with a fist-sized object, and that's literally all I was able to get out of either one of you.
I know. We're an enigma, right?
I like this idea of like she keeps trying to like get something like the information and then something crazy happens.
Yeah.
Keeps
Yeah.
pulling the scene.
Now,
out.
chances are this is going to be a short scene,
Okay.
but I think it's important to kind of establish between Roland and I what we know.
Okay.
Because I don't think we know what each other knows at this point. So, Crystal, Grace, you're going to direct. Anybody else, feel free to pop in. If the captain showed up, it wouldn't be the end of the world.
All right. But
All
it's
right.
yourself in Roland,
But it's
right?
me and Roland.
Okay.
What's your die count currently?
Personally,
Yeah.
I am sitting at black, black, white, white.
Yeah.
Oh, so it doesn't really matter which one I give you then.
Right, exactly. However
Okay.
you feel the scene should go,
Yeah,
maybe.
I'll let the scene kind of dictate which die I choose.
Okay.
Then.
All right, so we leave off with Roland saying, "It feels like a sack of apples." Set the scene. I'm holding the door. I'm looking in the hallway, trying to keep a lookout. He's in the trunk of the car. He's half in the bag, 75% in the bag, if I'm to be believed.
Wait,
Roland.
after I say it's a sack of apples, or after I say it's a dead body, or after I say it's a body?
It's a body.
It's a body. Okay.
Roland, what do you mean it's a body?
Come, just come look. Come look.
All right, fine. So I take my jacket off, and I wedge it inside the door to keep it propped open, and I run over to Roland, and I'm like, "What the heck?" We look in the back of this car.
Do you? I don't recognize this person at all. Do you know who this is?
Sir, I do not. I know who it could be, but I
Oh.
don't know this man.
Who could it be?
I think we need to blackmail the Lady Grace.
Blackmail? What are you talking about?
I think we need to say that this is her dead father.
I don't understand. Why would it need to be her father?
Because if it was her dead father, then her whole fortune is based on a lie.
I see, and this would...
It wouldn't detract from the fact that you are going to grab that little box that is sitting behind this man, while I gently move him with my gloved hands.
I think I understand.
Okay.
I will grab the box.
Grab the box, sir. Now, you can't tell anyone about this box.
Whatever happens at the end of all of this, we split whatever's in this box. 50-50.
Absolutely, sir. It's worth $8 scotch at least. At least. Let us go up and get some.
I think you need to leave first.
Sure.
We're gonna say black die right now.
Uh-oh.
Sure. Let's go over. I thought my coat was there. Let me go back. Alright. Oh, good. It was really tight. After you, sir. You go first.
All right.
Okay. So I creep behind you. Because I'm creepy. You have the box.
Yes, I will pocket the box and move slowly through the hallway.
And if we remember, he's 75% inebriated.
He is. He is.
I kind of run into the wall a couple times, but
A
setting
few
myself.
times.
He has the diamond and he's drunk, and you have a black die. Let's see how this goes.
It's gonna go just fine. I don't know what you're worried about.
I'll just hum to myself as I'm wandering down the hallway.
And out of nowhere, Thomas comes from a side passage and bumps right into you in front of me.
Oh, Roland, are you okay?
I'm.
We need to get you back to your room.
Hey!
You look highly drunk. Oh,
You
no,
little
not you
scamp!
again. Let's get out of here.
Is that Thomas?
I'll run off with Thomas.
What?
And
Back
cut.
here!
There we go. There it is. There's the cut.
I'm so sorry about waiting so long for the die. I was having so much fun watching.
That was perfect. That was
No,
perfect.
I was having so much fun watching you all. I fully forgot at first.
That was the key moment. Now we have Thomas and Roland
Running off with
with this fist-sized diamond.
Fist-sized
diamond. Running off. So fantastic.
So
I think that's kind of bad for me.
I'm going to give myself a white die, and I'm going to let Pep set the scene for me for the final scene.
So this kind of has to connect everything together, then, doesn't it?
Well,
Yes.
not necessarily, because she's going to do that in the after.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, however you want to see, like, the main chunk of the story end, really, per se. Like, the main action scene, however you want that to end. In regards to Grace.
Yeah.
And then Pep's character isn't supposed to be there?
Right.
I mean,
Roland's
right,
not
I'm the
gonna be
director.
there.
Oh yeah, I guess technically, if you throw yourself in, director, if you want, I don't care.
So what I think I want is.
Oh yeah, because you have the diamond. Maybe. Oh yeah.
I do have the diamond.
You have the diamond. We maybe now have a sinking ship, possibly. What else do we
Victor,
have?
how about you be co-director, just so we can get Pep in the scene a little more?
Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
So
'Cause
Pep sets the
needs to be
scene,
in the
but
scene.
you
Let's
talk
have
Well,
Pep in
no,
the scene.
I think it's fine. I think it's fine with me not being in the scene. What I think I want is actually, because everything else can just be discussed afterwards.
Right.
I want a scene with you, Crystal, and Victor as the captain again. I feel bad for just hog-tying your character into the captain the whole time.
Let me tell you, one of the best games I had in the past was a Old West. It was an Old West game, and we had this one guy who I don't even know who his character was. Like, I don't even at this point literally don't remember who his whole character was. But he played as a housemaid, and as the first time he played this housemaid, he did amazing. And so every time it was his scene,
had to pull him in constantly.
right? We'd be like, it would be his scene of his character, and we'd be like, yeah, okay, whatever you're doing. And then the very next scene, we'd be like, okay, you're gonna be the housemaid. Like we just wanted him as his housemaid.
So the captain is a lot more interesting than Jack Russell.
I guess it's not what
The
we're
Jack
saying.
Russell is just funding Pep's trip.
Right, I guess.
That's really all that's happening.
So we have.
Yeah, so I want Crystal and I want the captain, and the scene is basically them conspiring together in general. You guys figure that part out.
Us conspiring.
What die did you choose?
She did
I
not.
chose
She
a white
chose
die
correct.
for
No,
myself.
you chose
She
white.
chose white.
White and director.
So
Okay.
when is this taking place?
This would be... Let's actually make it at pretty much the same time as the two of us were stealing, quote-unquote, your diamond.
Okay,
You're
so
conspiring with
this
the
is
captain.
earlier, pre-iceberg, pre-people getting pushed over balconies.
There was a point in there where Pep had told her that the captain was conspiring with Dirk, and they're both evil. But
Right, so maybe I'm trying to sway the captain away from Dirk and try and get in on something.
Yeah. Oh, actually, that would be after. That would be after the situation was coming on, because Roland came and talked to you, and that was after the
right.
car scene.
Oh yeah, that is after the car scene.
So let's make it a bit later. Basically, you have a lot of information, and you're trying to talk to the captain and kind of leverage things your way.
Okay. Oh, sir, I'm so glad I found you. Do you have a couple of moments? Could we speak, please?
Well, of course, madam. For a lovely lady as yourself. Of course I do.
There have been some troubling goings-on this boat. I recognize that you are the captain, and I'm not faulting you for anything that's taken place, but I do have to say that I'm a little bit upset based on some of the company that has been present.
Well, I apologize, madam. I'm sorry to hear that. Have been quite busy captaining, this whole ship on to our destination. But I have the time now. Let's hear your complaints.
Do you happen to know the passenger named Dirk Handy?
Oh, well, the name has come up. Yes. Quite an interesting fellow. Quite a lot of ideas that he has. What do you know of him?
I feel like it's my obligation to let you in on a little secret.
Oh, do tell.
Well, I'm in possession of a jewel of an exorbitant amount of worth.
Oh,
And-
really?
Yes, this Dirk character, he only came onto the boat to try and obtain it from me. He claims he wants to buy it, but I know he doesn't have the means to do so. And I heard from someone else that you may have been speaking with him, and you seem like a decent fellow, and I just wanted to see if maybe you and I could come to some arrangement to excise him from the picture.
That pieces of the puzzle are coming together. Yes. So let's just per se say that maybe some word has got to me that there was a way of acquiring such a precious item. But the story was a little shady. So while I was possibly on board with such a plan to acquire such thing, I wasn't 100% involved.
Well, I do wish that if you had known about his plan that you would have come to me first,
Well,
but...
of course, right. If I maybe would have known.
So, I mean, anything that he's said to you, generally, I mean, yes, the diamond exists, and yes, it is here on the boat, but any promises he made to you about the diamond, they're folly. The diamond is mine. It's in my possession. His worth is all just words. He doesn't have anything to give you, whereas I have a lot I could offer you. So, in theory, if Dirk were to not make it to our destination because of some unfortunate circumstances, that might be beneficial for the both of us.
Well, we might be in mutual benefit here. You see, I need help getting rid of an individual as well. You see, I've come to find out that a Mr. Sampson, Thomas Sampson, is here to maybe perhaps extinguish myself. So,
oh gosh.
Yes, yeah, a bunch of an old grudge. He's kind of a low life himself, and I do know that he's on a ship, and we need to get rid of him.
You mentioned Thomas. I believe he's become quite enamored with me. I should be able to distract him and potentially dispose of him for you.
I like the idea of this. So
you take care of Dirk, and I'll take care of Thomas, and then
like
once we arrive at the port, we'll have a drink and celebrate our good fortune.
Sounds like a plan indeed.
And cut.
Way to turn NPCs against me. I see how it is. It's one thing if it's your own character. Come on.
I mean, he's the one that brought you up, and you and I like each other, so I didn't know what else to do.
Ouch.
All right, so that's the end of Act 2. All right, so does everybody there on your end, do you have a couple dice handy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so let's recap here what everybody has going on, and then everybody grab some different dice here. So we have Chris, aka Dirk Handy. I have you down as 3 black, 2 white. Does that seem correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so
So you need a black and a white.
pass those over there. Myself, if it looks like I have accurately, I have 3 white and a black. Crystal, looks like I think I have you down for 3 white and a black.
That's correct.
Right. Roy, you have 3 white and a black.
Yep.
And then I have...
yeah, 3
Is
white
that
and
right?
a black. Yeah, that's right.
And then Pep, I actually have you down for 2 black and a white.
Yep.
Does that seem correct?
Yep.
Okay, so what we're going to do, everybody's going to take those dice, we're going to roll them, and then obviously if you have, say, for instance, a positive on the white, you're going to subtract the black from that. If you have a positive on the black, you subtract the white from that, vice versa. So we want to come up with a grand total of, for instance, I have more white than black, so probably I'm going to have a net positive on the white side.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You see what I mean? So
Yeah, whichever the larger number is, you subtract
exactly.
it.
So subtract the other one from that. So go ahead and
That's a lot of black.
roll those dice and jot down what number you have.
Okay, wow.
Okay, let us flip to the aftermath. Now, there is a part of this that is supposed to be, you can do this that the white dice represent one thing, the black dice represent another. So you could, as you tell the story, you could be saying that like this die.
You can do one story for each die.
Right. You can, as you give up a die per se, you're going to tell your story.
A thing, and it's positive or negative based on the die.
So if we want to do that, let me flip here. It's one's going to be physical, one's going to be mental. It is, if I can find it, something of that sort. Black results are generally physical, and white results are usually social, mental, or emotional. So you can kind of do that if you want. So as you tell your story, you give up that die and tell that story. So again, if you'd like to, black represents physical, white resembles social. So let's quickly run down. Chris, what was your total?
Black was 10, and white was 5.
So you're ending with a grand total of black 5?
Yeah.
Black 5. So as
black
you talk about your end here, your aftermath, your end is rough. You're getting whipped like a rented mule, for starters, and you will remember this episode for your diminished days. The lessons you learn will be profound. So you have a rough ending.
Okay. Big surprise there.
Myself, I ended with a white 11. Not too shabby for myself. You made out with your dignity intact. So not too shabby.
Now, what did the captain do? Let's be honest here. Because he did a lot more than you did.
Maybe at this point, I should just say for the captain it's not too shabby, I guess, maybe.
No, it's done.
Crystal, what did you end up with?
I ended up with a white 13.
Oh.
Holy, like, holiness.
All right,
There's
so
the black one is black, and then, oh gosh, I don't even know if you can see from here.
We can.
And then everything else is white. I don't have any other white.
So
that's impressive.
White 13. All right, I'm going to read directly from the book. If there are children watching, cover your ears.
Oh gosh.
For a white 13, fan-fucking-tastic.
Wow.
It's fat times ahead, safe and secure. That thing that would have made your life better, oh, you got it absolutely, and then some. So it's ended well for Grace
Just
Mayfield.
a bit.
All right, Roy, what is your total?
I had 4 on the black and 10 on the white, so it's 6 towards the white.
6 to the white. Your end is weak.
Weak?
Hey, you're busted. You're busted, beat, and broke down, but at least you've learned a lesson about human greed and frailty.
Oh.
So you're going to spin your story based on that.
Wow.
And Pep, what is your total?
My total is 2 black.
You might be worse than me.
Yeah.
Your total is brutal.
Brutal.
Wounds that will never heal. For starters, stuff sawed off, blown up, burnt off all the way. Kiss whatever care you have goodbye. You may die, but you may not.
So yeah, I feel like I'm at my end by the end of this one, so...
You and me both, brother.
What we're gonna
I think we need to start at the best and go to the worst.
All right, yeah. So let's start with. So we'll start with Crystal.
I think we need to go Crystal, Roy, you, Pep, or me, then Pep.
So should our end stories include the other characters then? Because I don't want to dictate someone else's end.
So however you want to tell the story, and this is kind of like that whole improv thing about never say no. So if you want to include someone else into the story, that player is going to just take whatever you say and kind of run with it.
Right.
Okay.
You can't necessarily determine their fate, but at least set them up with what.
And at this point, you could technically, you could be like, well, Grace and Thomas, they're making their way to the deck, and Thomas gets shot, or something like that. And then maybe when Roy takes over, he'd be like, oh, Thomas got shot in the leg, or something. So however you want to tell it, it's up to you.
Okay.
Just remember we're alive at the end, being happy that Chris is thrown overboard. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's
So-
do Crystal first.
So Grace successfully gets the captain to find out where the diamond ended up, and she got Roland very, very, very drunk, like more drunk than he'd been on the entire voyage, and
That's really drunk.
like real drunk. And she was able to use her little shifty
100%
fingers to get the diamond off of him. She then, because she had taken a liking to Thomas, she, after they departed the boat, she called on him frequently. They had become friends.
Ooh.
And they, because she liked the water so much, she invited Thomas to go sailing with her multiple times throughout the years, as they had become good friends on the boat. And they adventured together more, and everybody lived happily ever after.
Wow. Cinderella ending if there ever was one.
Now, how do I make mine weak?
Well, maybe
those are the
from my
moments
point of
of
view. Maybe you didn't
happiness.
enjoy sailing. Maybe it makes you sick.
Yeah, you spin that however you want, Roy. You're next.
Yeah.
I tried to leave your stuff on the boat off at least, so that way.
Well, at least it sounds like by her story, the captain didn't get Samson.
No.
Yeah,
Right.
no.
So what do you got, Roy? You can just give a little snippet. Like usually it goes round and round and round. We give little snippets.
I'm trying to figure out how to spin this the best way, but then still end where I'm not super good. But
dude, you're Leo. You gotta
Right.
work it.
cool. So I'm gonna say that goodness, I don't know the best way to do this because her story also messed up what I was gonna do too.
No, hey,
Oh, that's a part of mine.
she gave you the big picture, but she doesn't know the inner mind of Thomas Sampson.
Gotcha.
I was
Yeah,
thinking-
yeah.
Or how you wind up on that boat from time to
Right?
time.
Maybe Thomas Sampson is now her servant. Right?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, that worked out so well for me.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, because we ended off with my character like holding the gun up to the captain's head, and my friend just betrayed me, and she was standing right there too. So, I'm gonna say with my good points, I basically am like, hey, it's time we cleanse the ship of these terrible people or whatever, and end up trying to shoot the captain and Pep in the leg as well. So Pep ends up maimed. That helps us to get the diamond back as well, because if she tells us that he knows where it is, we should be able to find it in his room, since I helped him back there. And I ended up taking out 2 birds with 1 stone, but I ended up not being able to bring myself to kill the captain in the end, so I end up like living with the regret for the rest of the years to come or whatever, seeing that it was all for naught.
I like it.
That was really good.
It works. Ties it all together.
All right, I'll go with
Jack.
Jack. It's
Not
too
captain.
It's right, not captain. It's not too shabby for Jack. His total bill because of Roland was only $221.
That's a lot for 7 days. It
Seems like a lot for that time. It wasn't the worst. It wasn't too shabby.
Okay.
Jack expected more. And he also expected more shenanigans. He expected his brother to be having a scheme against himself, but it was the captain, so he was quite happy with that.
All right, fair enough.
What happened? And then let's go to Roland.
All right, so I think what happened, Roy Thomas said he shot both of us, but not fatally.
Right.
So I think what happens after he leaves, the captain and I are both just sitting there, wounded, bleeding out, and the captain just says something. You know, I'm still, as much as I say I stopped drinking, I obviously didn't. So I'm still not all there. And the captain decides he wants to tell me off one final time. He says, "You were a failure back then. You're a failure now. You couldn't even protect me." And so I crawl over to the captain, and as I'm bleeding out, just with my last dying breath, I get my final bit of revenge against the captain, and then I'm done. I don't think I survived this. I did too many bad things during this whole adventure, so I feel like I need to not. I feel like it needs to not end good for me. So.
Ooh. Oh,
Dark.
oh,
Yeah.
dark,
Very
ending.
dark. Very dark.
All right, Dirk Handy. How's it end for Dirk Handy here?
So the last time we left Dirk, he was watching both Roland and Thomas run off with the diamond that he had worked so hard to get his hands on. And they are just running off down a side hallway. I'm kind of limping along, and I'm hopeless. I'm hopeless. And I get up to the deck, and I go up to the bridge, which is where I find you. And I'm so distraught that I push you over the edge. And then I quickly decide that that's the worst thing a human being could do. I run down, I try to save you, I get tied up in the process. And then next thing you know, this crazy lady's running by me telling me to leave the lifeboat and go to the bar. And I do it.
Okay.
I go to the bar, I grab a drink, and I start to hear the strings play. And I'm like, it's been a pleasure cruising on this boat with all of you.
Wow, look at that.
And I get the $8 scotch.
The $8 scotch.
Thinking that this is going to be the last day, and I don't care. And I'm sitting there enjoying, and this is kind of where we pull back and just see the long shot of the area where nobody's really actually giving a crap that anything's going on with this iceberg, because the Titanic was 20 years ago and ships don't sink anymore.
So that's what it sounded like. It sounded like we hit an iceberg, but our ship's not sinking.
It's totally
It's
not
not
sinking. And all of us who ran up debts are going to have to pay them back.
Right.
And unfortunately, I have to pay back a lot more than you.
Right.
So I'm kind of sitting there waiting for the end that just never comes.
All right.
So, anybody
Also-
want a tiny loose end?
Yeah, any other little tidbits? Normally we go round and round, spending a die at a time, but I think we're wrapping up a lot of our stories. Does anybody have the last 2 cents?
At
I
one
can't
point, I did consider tossing the diamond into the ocean because of all of the turmoil it had caused, and I decided to put it back in my pocket.
Oh yeah, you need to fund your and Thomas's life together. Totally.
In your pocket. This fist-sized diamond just goes
It's
in your
a
pocket.
big pocket.
In my world, all women's dresses have very large pockets, and that's my good happy ending. So,
As they should. Anybody else?
I guess there is still one loose end that at some point after all this, Chris is supposed to be dead or thought to be dead. We
Well,
kind of never.
Right, that's true. Well, I mean, yeah, because it was supposed to be, he got what it was coming to him. He might be dead.
I know. I think I set that up poorly, though. We can ignore it if you guys want.
Whatever.
Or somebody can make it happen.
I figured that $8 scotch was way too strong,
Right.
and so
Right,
we thought
that
that
is-
was the end for him.
That was alcohol poisoning. Let's say
yeah.
that. It was alcohol
Yeah.
poisoning.
And last time those two saw us, we were in the boat, in the lifeboat,
Right.
when we hit an iceberg.
And I just assumed that you had passed.
Right.
Yeah. Like a kidney stone, I had just passed. That was fun. So, there you have Fiasco. So real quick, before we wrap this up. Now, Victor and I have played this before. You three have not.
Well,
I
No.
played it once.
Roy has.
Roy, you've played it once before?
Roy's played it once. Okay, so let's just go around the horn and let's get Pep and Crystal's feels real quick, and then we'll go to Roy, and then we'll kind of wrap it up. So Pep, you were kind of excited about doing this, and you did homework, man. You're like, where can I find out about this thing? This sounds awesome, and it was a good time. So what'd you think of the whole experience overall?
It's definitely one of those things where when you try it the first time, I think you you almost want to set up a lot of different things, and everyone's trying to set up different things. Then you realize during Act 2, you kind of have to like pin them all together, and I'm not sure we fully did that. There was a lot of plot lines that just kind of mashed.
Yeah. So when you watch the tabletop version, you see like professional writers struggle to make that happen, right? And I think it's safe to say we're all far from professionals. And it's a lot to keep track of, even with taking notes and having a beverage or two, or $8 scotch, whatever.
Oh yeah, and I've played a lot of D&D, and I'm almost always the DM when I'm role playing with people. And the thing is, when you're the DM, you kind of have absolute control. Right. So when other people have control as well, you're definitely left in a spot where someone will set something up, and you're like, all right, I'll just assume that they're going to resolve that later. But at the end of the day, it might be you who has to resolve that for them.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Absolutely. Awesome.
There's definitely more teamwork in this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Crystal, this is obviously he went into all that. I think one of the most unique things Fiasco draws on is the ability to hop in time. Like, I think it gives you the ability to set, like, precedent or postcedent. I guess if that's a word, postcedent, like past precedent for temporal. God damn you, temporal physics and all that. But you get to play with time, I think, a lot more in this setting than you do in others. So, and you did that. So, what did you think?
I thought it was really interesting. Honestly, I think when you do a one-shot RPG with anyone, it sometimes can be tough because you have to find some kind of a rapport and a cohesion with the group. And most of us have never played an RPG with each other before. So I think we did a surprisingly good job of developing that rapport fairly quickly. I know for me personally, I don't have a lot of role-playing experience overall. Started playing D&D for the very first time in the fall of this past year, and I'm now in 3 full-time campaigns. So, yeah, well, D&D, and then Star Trek Adventures. Like, I knew that that RPGs would be a thing that I would love, and I was 100% right in that. And this is really fun. I think it would be interesting to see how it would go in person with people that I know better, only because I kept doubting my own decisions just because I don't know each of you well enough. And so I don't want to toss you something. I felt bad about some of the choices that I made because I felt like I didn't set you all up for success as much as I probably could have. Improv is tough for everybody.
Right.
So,
sure.
But it was really, really fun. And I got to do an Adelaide voice, which is just a great day.
I think Crystal did a fantastic job.
Absolutely.
Some of the curveballs that get thrown in Fiasco is actually what makes it so memorable.
Agreed.
When you just throw something that's so completely oh my god, I did not see that coming, and you just go with it, that just makes it amazing. That makes, I'm going to be thinking about this for years. Okay? I was saying earlier about the character where the one guy I knew, he played as this Old West, the housemaid or whatever. It sticks. And so these things that you do are going to stick with me for for years and years and years. So I think you did fantastic. I love everything that was thrown in there.
And I think that just goes back to, I think that's the beauty of Fiasco, is kind of the one-off, is that it gives you that ability to experiment and play and not really care if you screw another character over, because that's actually the point.
Right. And just deciding how to weave that story into it, and deciding how to oh man, Crystal just threw this curveball where now,
well, go back in time and fix it.
I got a gun to my head or something like that, and just weave that into the story and just go with it. That improvness, just go with it.
I love, and I didn't forget about you, Roy. I love the idea of there's these little vignettes, these little scenes that we do. And I think that is where the beauty of this lies. It's not like we're doing a whole adventure and it's all contiguous and it's all... No, it's like we're doing these little vignettes and we jump out of character and we cut and we act and we can discuss what's going on and then hop back in. And I think that's key.
I think it would be really interesting if there, I don't know if it exists already, but if there's a Fiasco scenario that is like set up Memento style where it goes completely from the end to the beginning, I think that would be really interesting to try out.
It wouldn't be hard to make.
Yeah, there's. I mean, you go to I think it was fiascoplaysets.com. There's like a ton of them, and really, I mean, I bet if you take just a little bit of time, you could come up with your own playset easily. It's really just a matter of getting
building those tables.
Those tables where it's like, okay, what would be crazy? What would be craziness? Let's just throw in this.
If Cthulhu jumped on the ship and we had to bring the old deep.
Oh my God! Do I want to play this again with like a Cthulhu-esque part to it?
I know you do. All right, but
I definitely think it's pretty interesting the curveballs that it throws in at you with that. I think we did a pretty solid job of like trying to hit the stuff that we're supposed to, like plans getting messed up and then friends betraying each other and things like that. So I feel like most all of our things that we were supposed to cover during it, kind of the game itself molded the story a little bit, and then we filled in all the cracks, you know.
How did this compare to the first time you played Fiasco, Roy?
The first time we played, it was a while back, but it was pretty crazy. It went a little bit PG-13 sometimes, which is pretty funny because we're all dudes, but some of the characters are playing female characters, so it's kind of interesting. But it's definitely an interesting game. It can definitely go different depending on who you're playing it with.
Roy, what's your? I don't personally know. What's your background for role playing?
I've played a lot of role playing games growing up. I started playing Gamma World when I was like 12 with my dad.
Okay.
So I played a lot of that growing up, and then like I did D&D encounters, but mostly that was like 4th edition. Like I ran a D&D group. And then currently I'm running Tales of Misplaced Meeples, Epic Tales of Misplaced Meeples, where Crystal joins me and we do a little D&D session once a month on my channel. So we're doing some D&D stuff.
It's fun. And I dress up as my character who is a tiefling for that. So red makeup and horns and all that.
Yeah, and she dressed up as a Trill like just last Friday, actually.
For my Star Trek adventures. And we're not even streaming that one. I literally put on makeup for just the people I'm playing with.
Hey,
why not?
For all we know, Crystal, we might not be streaming right now. So.
We are, right? We're streaming this, right? Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'd hope someone would say that at some point during the whole
Okay, good. Hey. We're looking over here at our
at a point, you just don't
Chat's
care.
still occasionally talking, so...
All right. So, real quick, let's just go around the horn and just tell everybody where you can find everybody. So, obviously, you know Victor just from tonight, but Victor, where can people find you?
So, really, I'm not a huge voice for online. I am on Board Game Geek as Victor the Geek. My little bit of claim to fame whatsoever is I've been on some Dice Tower showdowns, arguing some points. And I also try my best to help run and publicize gaming in the central Pennsylvania area. But a lot of times I also will work. I'll be working at Origins at the Stronghold Games booth.
I'll be at Capstone.
Okay.
Rock on.
So I'm kind of a little bit of a behind the scenes. I just want to be gaming. I want to get people into gaming, whatever I can. But I'm not really podcasting out there.
Yeah. All right. Pep, people hopefully know you, sir. You
yeah,
like
so I work
in a house right now.
But yeah, I work with Rodney Smith, Watch It Played, teaching how to play board games. You'll find me especially when we do the gameplays. The two of us play together, and I'm also just on Twitter as Board Pep. And I sometimes like to play games just on the fly, say things like Dixit. I'll have people play along with me. Other than that, though, I'm not as active on Twitter as I should be, but I'll work on that.
You and Victor have that in common. He's done the occasional concept online, and you've done the occasional Dixit online. So
yeah, I've tried to throw up some like. Have you ever played Concept?
Yeah, yeah.
So I tried to I take a picture of the board and then I do a little bit of photoshopping and I try to throw something up there, from time to time. Yeah, I should be better at it but throw something up there and get Facebook people on there that comment. So
Concept's a good one. I bounced between other things too. I've done code names and things like Mastermind and yeah, I should try with Concept. I don't have a copy of it, but I should see if I can get one.
Yeah,
cool.
Absolutely. It's a lot of fun. And Pep and I met at Gen Con. Seems to be a running story in my life.
Yeah.
And I had to play a game with Pep, so he offered up rock, paper, scissors. I got to play a game with Pep, so it doesn't matter. I'm counting it as a loss because I believe he won.
Okay.
I think so. I will take any challengers at rock, paper, scissors. If you ever see me anywhere, I will always accept a game of rock, paper, scissors.
I mean, I was the Rochambeau Greek Week 2006 champion at Morningside College.
Nice.
So Pep, when you and I finally meet, we'll have to duke it out.
It is on.
Are we talking Rochambeau normal or are we talking South Park Rochambeau?
No, just rock, paper, scissors.
Chris, you look like you don't know. Do you know what South Park Rochambeau?
I'm kind of afraid to ask.
You kick the other person in the nuts.
Nice. Nice. I'm going to vote no on that. All right. So, Roy, where can people find you?
Awesome. They can mostly find most of my stuff if you just look for Epic Gaming Night everywhere. I do a podcast, and I stream those live on YouTube, and then I also have that up on iTunes. That's Epic Gaming Night. I also do a lot of stuff with the Dice Tower, so I do a Favorite Game Friday there every week and have awesome contributors like Crystal, who joins me for Favorite Game Friday. Lots of awesome people from actually all around the world. We just talk about our favorite games. And then I do occasional reviews on the Dice Tower as well, and then other stuff with them, like I've been in their live marathon and things like that. So I'm a regular contributor. Also do Throat Punch Lunch on the Dice Tower, and then we also, like I talked about before, our D&D campaign that we're running on Epic Gaming Night now, the Epic Tales of Misplaced Meeples. We're only 2 episodes in, but it's pretty crazy so far.
Absolutely. And Roy has the distinction of being the first ever Game All Night guest. So
Hype!
He got to suffer through all the indignities that come with that. And if you don't know what the Handicorn is, you need to go find out.
I saw Roy's stuff on the Dice Tower stuff. So I've seen his on the live feed. I was watching Roy play games on the live feed, and I saw him on all the contributions.
He's everywhere.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
I've been enjoying that on the Dice Towers feed.
Yeah, I definitely try to do as much board game media stuff as possible. So it's hard to fit it all in there, but try to make it happen.
Cool.
And again, Roy and I met at Gen Con. He brought Crossfire, and that was a fun. That was a Crossfire.
Are we talking? Hold on.
No.
Are we talking
We're
old school
talking about
Crossfire?
Emerson
No.
Matsuchi Crossfire, not Marbles.
No.
Not old Crossfire with the ball bearings.
No.
And not Shadowrun Crossfire either.
Correct.
Now, I don't even know why Plaid Hat named it Crossfire, but
It was Crossfire.
still a good game.
But you know what though? That game is where he met Gary Pope. That's where he met him. That was a fateful night, man. This show would not be here if it wasn't for that night.
Cool.
That night.
Nice.
So thank you for that, Roy. Awesome to hang out. And I told him he bops too much when he videos.
No, I like it. I like the motion. I like the motion. I
Everybody
like the
says that.
enthusiasm.
But dude,
Tom told me, he's like, you have a shtick. Never stop moving in your video.
Right. I like the movement. I like because maybe it's my ADHD.
No.
I'm like, oh, there's constant movement.
I look like a corpse half the time.
It's funny because a lot of people are like, yeah, you get a lot of people on the internet that say crazy stuff to you all the time, because I get a bunch of people that's like, man, you need to stand still. Man, you need to stop it.
Bobbing and weaving.
And people don't normally say stuff like that to you in person. But during Gen Con last year, somebody came up to me and was like, hey, man, I really like your videos, but you need to stand still. And I was like, sorry, man, can't do it. He's like, okay, whatever. And he just walked off. And I'm like, how is this happening in real life?
That's
Right?
awesome.
crazy.
That's awesome.
He was internet trolling you in real life.
Right?
Exactly.
That's fantastic.
You know what, though? As we get further from the business, be unique is the key word. And, dude, you totally hit that mark. All right, moving on to Crystal. So Crystal is up and coming. You have you kind of insinuated yourself into Dice Tower Tonight, if I'm not mistaken, recently.
So yes,
well
I just got
done.
added as a third co-host on Dice Tower Tonight on their YouTube channel, which has been really,
Awesome.
really fun. I got to co-host the Dice Tower podcast last summer and had a blast with Tom and Eric, and they had been considering adding a third host for a little while, and then just kind of based on pure happenstance, back in March, Eric's power went out 5 minutes before they were supposed to go live. Tom put a call
I picture
out
Crystal walking through the woods and cutting the power cord now, in retrospect. Just saying.
I literally, I had just gotten home from work, because since I'm on West Coast time, I had just gotten home from work, and Tom put a call out on the Dice Tower, the internal Slack channel that he has for contributors, and he was just like, Eric's power is out, I need someone to co-host with me, is anybody available? And I was like, I'm home, I could kind of do that, give me 5 minutes. And so I got ready, and after that Tom was like, so we were already thinking about adding a third host, and you were already on the list, and you did a good job, so do you want it? And so we made it official. But that is only a tiny, tiny part of what I do. The majority of what I do is Board Game Blitz, which is a podcast and video series by myself and Ambi, and occasionally Cassidy. We do release a podcast every 2 weeks, and then video content, which we've been trying to increase a little bit. And we also do some live streaming. I'm also part of another D&D podcast. In addition to Roy's Epic Tales of Misplaced Meeples, I'm also on Podculture Plays D&D, which releases episodes weekly. And yeah, we for Board Game Blitz, we have some cool stuff coming up for our 2nd anniversary, which will be next month in May. So I'm very excited about that. I can't give you any info because it's all secret.
Come on, no scoop, no scoop.
Even our patrons don't know what we're doing yet. We've kept it all kind of on the down low, but we've got some very cool stuff coming. So I'm very excited about that. And yeah, like Roy said, it's hard to find time to do all the things that you want to do. And I haven't hit my breaking point yet, although I think I'm getting close, but we'll find out, I suppose.
I've been doing this 2 months, and I think I know where my breaking point is, which after 2 years, you guys, it's impressive.
Hey,
so
more power to all of you and all the content that you're doing. I did this years ago with a comic book podcast for 2.5 years, and I hit my breaking point. We fizzled as a podcast. We pod faded. And yeah, we pod faded hard. And I kind of don't miss the editing aspect of it and the time commitment. So more power to all of you guys for putting in the effort to do this. So that's awesome.
All right. And last but not least, well, you're hopefully watching my channel, Game All Night. So one of the things I think that everybody here has in common is we provide something a little different. And we don't want to do the same old, same old. We want to provide it in a different way, and we want to have fun doing it. And that's the kind of people I want to call friends. So that's what we're all about. We do the late night board game talk show. We have fun. And I hope you all enjoyed Fiasco, because this does not get enough love. Because I think,
fantastic.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun. Thank you guys for coming on. I mean, it was huge to have you. When you all said yes, I was completely floored. Victor was like,
yeah.
I have to help them.
I seriously, I feel so honored to be here, and I'm so happy that I know Chris. Because I got to I feel like I got to hang out with some content creators that I'm watching. I just pulled up when Crystal was talking. I was pulling up my podcatcher feed, and I have a podcast on my list. I don't get enough time to listen to everything, but it's there, and so I'm trying to listen as much as I can. But it's cool to see and interact with you guys, especially no disrespect to Roy and Crystal at all. But I'm so happy to be gaming with Pep.
Oh, don't worry. At least I can't speak for Roy, but I feel the same way. I'm like, I get to play a game with Pep. So
let me tell you, I try my hardest to get my wife to play games with me. and I was super excited to get Fog of Love. And I sat right before she came home, and I watched Pep and Rodney play Fog of Love, and just like I felt like I had a smile on my face watching them play, and like, oh my god, this is so entertaining. I can't wait till my wife gets home and I play with her. And just the two of you playing and seeing you play was just, I was ecstatic watching you guys play that. And then I had a great night playing with her.
I have to say that was some of the most fun I think I had with Rodney was playing that, especially on camera. And we just sometimes when we do gameplays, things will happen and we'll kind of backtrack and say, "No, we need to work this so it's a little more entertaining."
Yeah,
I think that was one of the only games where everything from like start to finish. I think there was one card that came up that I said, I don't like this one. This doesn't seem appropriate.
Okay.
Other than that, everything was just off the cuff, and it was just great. I had so much fun playing that with him.
That was great.
Yeah.
Well,
Nice.
Thank you everybody who watched this, who will watch this, and who has participated. This was everything I hoped. I'd love to make Fiasco a regular thing with y'all, or maybe perhaps other people if they decide they want in on this craziness,
right.
Whatever. But thanks guys for playing. Anybody have anything else they want to say, or shall we just say till next time?
Thank you so much for having us on.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, seriously. Thanks for inviting me. It was great, and I would definitely be up for playing it again at some point.
Excellent. Thank you all for coming. Have a great night, and be sure to game all night.
Cool. And let us know when we're done.